Ready? Alright, so welcome everybody. This is Civ4 AI Survivor. This is our third and final playoff game before the championship match. Championship will be coming up after this is done. Everyone in this game has won at least one previous, or finished first or second in one of the previous games. We did 8 opening round games and then a wildcard game. So everybody here, like I said, has either finished first or second in one of those games. So I'm going to start by showing the map, just as a refresher. This is our continent for this game. It has kind of this east-west split, 3 civs in the west, 3 civs in the east, and a big open area between them. So there we go. I will go clockwise around the map just to show all the different leaders we have. Here we have Julius Caesar of Rome in the northwest. One of the things everybody wanted to know is, does he have iron? And yes, he does. This is random. It did not place this year, but he does have an iron for his Praetorians. Caesar finished in first place in his opening round game in a really dramatic showdown with Elizabeth, who was going to win a cultural victory, but he managed to stop it just in time. Over here in the east, we have Charlemagne of the Holy Roman Empire. Don't be fooled by the green borders. This is Holy Rome. He finished second in his opening round game, should have finished first, ended up trolling away his victory in really stupid fashion to Wang Khan. But he is the northeastern spot on this particular map. Just to his south is Hannibal of Carthage. Again, different colored borders to help make it stand out a little bit more. He finished first in a pretty dominant victory in his opening round game. We actually haven't seen him for a little while. He was in one of the earlier games in the opening round. So Hannibal, only financial leader in this game. We will see if he's able to put that to good use in this. Yep, we have Rome against Holy Rome. That's true. Oh, Holy Aztec Empire. I like that. Down here in the southeast corner, we have Ramses of Egypt. He was in the very first opening round game. He finished second in that match, very unexpectedly. Didn't expect him to do that well, but he did make it through, and he has this position in the southeast. Might be a tricky game for him. He is a high piece weight leader in a game that's mostly low piece weight leaders, but we will see if he's able to found a religion and make friends off of that. He has a pretty high religious emphasis and a high wonder emphasis, so we shall see. In the southwest corner, we have Kublai Khan of the Mongols. He made it here by virtue of winning the wild card game. He was actually in the same game as Ramses, the very first game, and then Kublai came in third in that game, ended up going to the wild card match and won that one. Probably should have come in second, but Victoria ended up bizarrely going for a cultural victory and ended up not advancing out of the wild card game. Kublai is one of the picks to do well in this game. I haven't picked to do second. A lot of people have him picked to finish first in this game. We'll see what he makes of it. And finally, here on the western edge of the Pangea, we have Louis of France. Louis made it here by virtue of finishing second place. He finished a distant second place behind Justinian in his opening round match. He is one of the favorites to be the first to die in this game, along with Ramses. Very heavy picks between these two. Louis is kind of a weird leader. He has a high emphasis on attacking other people, but he also has a high emphasis on building wonders, and that combo doesn't usually work all that well in this game. So we'll see how aggressive he gets with wonders. Finally, just one more thing I'll mention as we're getting started here. Did want to give a shout out to Dark Savant, who made a very generous donation in between last week and this week. I won't say how much it is, just for privacy's sake, but kudos for that and very generous support. So thanks again to Dark Savant. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started then. And like we said, the things we always watch is who's going for a religion and who is where people are sending their opening settlers. So nobody, it doesn't look like anyone, does anyone start with mysticism out of these leaders? Charlemagne does. So you'd expect Holy Rome to get an early religion, but he has not gone for one. He's going for animal husbandry instead. It's actually a good choice because he has double animal husbandry resources, but that might allow Louis and Ramses to get the first religions because they're going for mysticism, both of them. As far as where settlers are going, wherever you see the archer outside of the people's capital, that's where the starting settlers are going. So Caesar, for some reason, is heading into the tundra. That's probably not the best decision. Charlemagne is going east. Probably should be going west. Hannibal's going south. Kublai's going northeast. Louis is going east. And Ramses is going northwest. I don't know what Caesar... Maybe Caesar... Who knows what he's doing? Wandering around. He was on the marble last turn. Now he's moved over here. Alright, so no one has quite found it yet. Let's see. Alright, so we've got our first two cities are down. Let's see. Alright, so first to found on turn 5, we've got Kublai Khan picked this spot with a wet rice and a plains cow. That's a, you know what, this is a, might look unimpressive because there are a lot of desert tiles here, but not a bad city. Double food resources. This is a 3 production tile. The horses are going to be a 4 production tile. And oasis and a wet rice for food. Yeah, not bad. Give him early access to horses. He's going for animal husbandry, so he's going to have horses connected by like turn 15. Over here, Louise picked a much weaker spot. He does have what, this dry corn in the second ring. So that makes the city decent, and it is on a river, but the gems are no good until he gets iron working, and building a settler in this city at size 1 is not a very good decision. The AI seem to like to do that for some reason. Never quite understood why they do that. But yeah, so now we've got everybody except Rome with a second city. Ramses, let's see. Pretty good spot. He's got the grassland sheep. That's a 5 food tile. The iron, he doesn't know it's there yet, but it will give him a 2-4 tile, I believe. No, 2-3 tile, at least in the early game. Everything's riverside, so that's nice. Again, don't know why he's building the settler there. Hannibal went due south, and he's already crowding Ramses. This is a great spot for Hannibal to grab. Like, this is contested territory, and he has grabbed this and not Ramses. If he peels off the pigs tile, he'll be able to give the city enough food. Although, no, he can't really do that because the capital is pretty low on food as well. But it's a great spot from a strategic perspective. Holy Rome, not so much over here on the coast. Fish resource, bananas. I mean, there's a lot of food, but it's kind of jungly, if that's a word. He can't even split off the grassland cows because it's outside the range of Prague. And then Caesar looks like he's headed over here. Caesar is belatedly going to where he should be going, which is that tile. I'm assuming that's where he's headed. Again, that's where he should... Nope, all right. Well, this isn't bad. It's just he has to pop borders now to get the food bonuses. But, yeah, it's more or less where he should be going. He picked up... I mean, it makes sense where the AI would go here. The AI settles based on resources, and this city's got a gazillion resources. This city just needs to pop borders, basically. Once it does that, it's golden. 2 jungles equals jungly. Well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I guess it doesn't have that many jungle tiles. In retrospect, it doesn't have as many as I thought. You guys were right to point that out. Okay. So now we've got a race, and Caesar... Oh, interesting. Caesar must have popped mysticism from a hut because he was... I don't think he was going for mysticism before, meditation before. So it looks like Caesar is actually going to get one of these first 2 religions because he wins turn order with Ramses. He is ahead of him in turn order. This is going to be really interesting if Caesar gets one of the 2 early religions. Nope, now Ramses is sieged ahead, and Louis is turn ahead as well. All right, so maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, polytheism is wide open for just about anyone who might want this. This is an interesting race here. No one is still on that one. Ramses and Louis. Louis would get the religion right now. Really bizarre that Charlemagne is not on that one. What was Caesar researching anyway? He was researching fishing? No, he starts with fishing. Rome starts with fishing and mining. He must have popped mysticism from a hut. He was researching animal husbandry, and he already finished it. He must have popped mysticism from a hut. There's no way he would have this otherwise. Okay, so early settler from Caesar, and not in his second city. That's a smart decision. And now he's going to have both. Yeah, this capital is looking really good for Caesar. He's already got his food tiles connected, and now he's going to hook up this for a. That's going to be a 3 production tile once it's finished. And then that plus imperialistic will be really nice for him. Hopefully he'll be smart enough to mine the Plains Hills. Elsewhere, let's see, still workboats being built for Charlemagne. We've got an early settler from Carthage as well, also smart. Has hooked up the ivory. That gives him some decent tiles. One thing that's nice for Hannibal is these ivory tiles both get the financial bonus. They'd be 2 commerce tiles normally, but they're 3 commerce because he's financial. And so it looks like Louis is going to win this race to meditation. Fancy that. And then we'll have a crazy scrum for who gets polytheism and the second religion. Down here, early obelisk from Ramses, settler in the second city for no apparent reason. Okay, also an early settler from Kublai Khan. There's a reason why people liked Kublai Khan and Caesar. They're just good at expansion. All right, so let's see. We should see Orleans becoming a holy city, and there it is. And then Ramses looks like he's got the early jump on polytheism. All right, screenshot that. I don't think many people had Louis founding the first religion. That's unexpected, to say the least. Alright, and now the race is on for polytheism, but again, Ramses has the edge there, so he will probably get that. Yeah, I didn't see that happening. I thought Charlemagne would get one of the early religions, but it looks right now like he's going to get locked out, because Ramses looks like he's going to beat him there. Oh, and Kublai, yeah, so Kublai's doing a nice job as well. He needs to get, he's finished animal husbandry. He needs to connect this pig's resource at his capital. That's probably the next thing he needs to do. So it's going to have to deal with this bear wandering around. So he's almost got a settler done. Rome's almost got a settler done. And Rome did get an early monument, so the borders will pop here. Kind of silly to be farming this tile. If the AI actually knew what it was doing, it would be mining one of these tiles and just waiting for the borders to pop. But the AI doesn't know what it's doing, so whatever. This silver resource will be nice for Caesar for happiness as well. He will get that eventually from Antium, maybe not for a while. But yeah, so we'll continue to watch the religious race, and also watch to see where Caesar and Kublai send their settlers. So Caesar's the first one with the settler done. Again, imperialistic trait to the rescue there. So yeah, the others, Hannibal will be the next one, but he's still a ways off. Let's watch and see where this settler goes, shall we? Due south. Heading south, it looks like. You know, if Caesar gets to this spot, that would be pretty important. Grab that early copper resource. Then he wouldn't even have to wait for... and look, everybody and their mother's on polytheism right now. Then he wouldn't even have to wait until he had ironworking to get metal units up and running. So Ramses looks like he's going to get this. Kublai... Where's his settler? I know he just finished it. Oh, here it is. Kublai's heading south. Probably wants to grab that, either the gold or he wants these food bonus resources. But Ramses should be getting his holy city right here. Alright, so he randomly picks up... That is a very early open borders. Must have probably popped raiding from a hut, would be my guess. Alright, so 2 early religions go to Louis and Ramses. Our 2 favorites for first to die, both picking up their own religions. It'll be interesting to see where they spread. Like, does Kublai get Christianity, or does he get Judaism here? Yeah, everybody other than the Burger King going for religion. Well, he was chasing a religion, he just didn't get one. Came up a little bit short. Alright, so there's our early religions. Here comes Kublai with his settler. Alright, so if there's a really terrible dice roll, Kublai could lose a settler here. Again, I do not expect that to happen, but like warrior against archer, very unlikely, but it could happen. And Caesar, I guess something similar, but he's on a defensive top. Nope, he just swung over here to the west now. Maybe he was scared off by that barbed warrior. Anyway, that warrior did not manage to... Interesting, that warrior is on 0.9 health. Maybe he got attacked by an animal or something. But in any case, Kublai is the first of 3 cities down here on the coast. Not the greatest spot. Probably should have gone up here. Would have made more sense, but he does get some more territory. Did I give the barbs archery? I'm pretty sure I did, but we will check just to be sure. Reasonably sure I did before this game started. Alright, so the barbs, they have archery, wheel, and archery. So there you go. So they do have that. Good question before we get started. And where's Caesar? So where's Caesar's archer going? Caesar, he's obviously going to found on this tile here. Kind of a silly spot to go. I guess he saw the pigs and wanted them in the second ring. Pigs and iron in the second ring, but he could have gone right here and screwed over Louis pretty badly. Anyway, Hannibal should have a settler out now. He does. It's going northwest. Caesar does found on the tile we expected. Do we have one from Charlie? Nope. No settler done. He's building it in his second city slowly. Not the best decision there. And Ramses is still struggling as well. Okay, so Louis, he's about to finish the settler. We'll just watch the Hannibal one right now and see where it goes. Heading deep into the jungle, apparently. Probably going to found on this tile, because it does grab resources. Nope, still heading further inland. Hannibal's finished bronze working. Maybe he's going to found on this tile? Okay, so that city is pretty much useless right now. I will say someday when all the jungle's cut down, it'll be a pretty nice spot, but not for the moment, certainly. Look at this, Rome has already almost finished another settler. Geez. Caesar might not be very good economically as far as research goes, but geez, he is fast at cranking out those settlers. Already almost done another one. He probably should build a worker at this point. He has one worker for 3 cities, I think. Right? He only has one worker, doesn't he? Yep, only has one worker. And then has his workboat out exploring randomly. Alright, has anybody started a wonder yet? Doesn't look like it. Stonehenge would be useful for some of these non-creative leaders. Like, Caesar's about to have 2 settlers done before Charlie's finished 1, and they're both imperialistic. Alright, Memphis is finally almost done a settler. Louis, I think, did just finally build one here. So he's also headed for the center of the map. It looks like he's going to try to grab this resource cluster here. And Caesar is indeed on monotheism. I think some of you pointed that out in the chat. Louis on Stonehenge? Okay. The funny thing is he doesn't need Stonehenge, although it will give him an early shrine. But out of all the leaders, he's creative. He really doesn't need Stonehenge at all. So, alright, so he continues to head east, just like Hannibal. It's like the two of them seem to want to push into the center of the map. Louis' city is a lot more useful, though, because it is not choked in jungle. He can just farm this for a 6 food tile, and the biggest issue with this city is no production. Tons and tons of food, but no production. Needs to get into slavery and start whipping that spot. Anyway, so we've got a set. Okay, so now Charlie, did he finish the settler in this city? He is building one in his capital. Did he finish one? No, apparently he didn't finish the settler here. He just decided to stop building it, which is weird. And Rome just finished a settler and is connecting the food bonuses over there. Kublai, okay, Kublai's also on a settler. He actually has a decent number of workers over there. Yep, Louis going for that center map strat, indeed. A lot of barbarians over here, though, so he has to be a little bit careful. Apparently Caesar just wants to settle the whole coastline, because now he's going north into the tundra. He's got this, but Caesar, you can start pushing towards the middle of the map at some point. Just getting a lot of cities is not going to do anything if you put all your settlers in the tundra. Apparently that's the going strat, though. Well, he's going to get monotheism. He's going to found a religion right here in Antium. Any turn now, and then that will pop the borders for the silver. But, oh, and we have our first Barb city here. Might mess with Charlie a little bit. Romans love the coast, I know, right? Oh, and then a belated Stonehenge here from Ramses, who also loves his wonders. Yeah, he's like, I can just conquer cities later with Praetorians. So where did Ramses send his settler? Wait, what the... Oh, it's down here. Okay, I was like, why is Louis guarding a settler of Ramses? But no, they're just moving on top of the same tile. So Ramses apparently also wants to settle the distant tundra. And there's our third religion. So Caesar does get a religion. Okay, and it's a busy turn as we get Stonehenge as well. Ramses already has a great prophet? Geez, okay. Well, that's going to be a really early shrine. He must have been working some priest specialists via his obelisk. So really early great prophet. Anyway, Caesar is the first of 4 cities. I really do not understand why he wanted to burn a settler on that spot, but who the heck knows? And for some reason he's putting a settler in Cumae instead of his capital that has like tons of production. Sultanate of Rome, indeed. This does mean though that, yeah, like I said, that Caesar will get that picked up pretty quickly. Okay. And Hannibal has picked up Judaism. That could be significant. Means he's less likely to attack Ramses, who is also busy settling the tundra down here. Also, Holy Rome, dude, are you ever going to expand? Finally has a settler out. It was not very fast, was it? Okay, and Caesar, not surprisingly, converts to Islam. Going for bronze working. Probably en route to ironworking. Here's Kublai's building a settler in his size 3 city. I guess that's better. And Hannibal wants the Great Wall. With Stonehenge, I guess. Or he has stone, so it's cheap, but it probably not that necessary. All right, so Charlemagne does get his third city out. Pretty good spot. He's got, well, unfortunately it's a dry rice. It's only 4 food, but the gold resource is really nice. Gives him that all-important early happiness for the AI civs. Still just the one barb city? Yep, still just the one barb city up there. Boy, Caesar really, that is really a bad spot to be building a settler. Even, like, he's not getting anything from imperialistic up there. What a waste. If he's smart, he'll cancel that and build out of his capital. Instead, he's building missionaries. Why does AI waste? Or they normally do. They're normally pretty good about building the shrines, and like they don't always do so, but they're usually pretty good about it. So Louis is on double settler, which is kind of interesting. Not building them very fast, mind you, but he is building them. Caesar's kicking himself in the dick. Yeah, pretty questionable stuff from him. He seems to be wanting to build missionaries right now. Yeah, I don't quite understand that. He's usually not a very religious focused leader. All right, so the Great Wall will get finished there. It's funny because the Great Wall gets finished and then the borders pop after that. You can really see how the production queue works in Civ4. It goes city by city. So it went to Carthage first, processed the build queue there, then the game's engine moved to Utica, and only then popped the borders at Utica. So they did not get included in the Great Wall, and it looks really silly. Just one of those little things about how the mechanics work under the hood. Okay, so Kublai get also out to 4 cities. Nice spot here. Pigs for food, some floodplain, well, 1 floodplains tile. Little bit too much desert, but a lot of production there, so that's a good sign. All right, Rome finally was like, okay, this is stupid. Swaps back to settler at the capital. So that's a good sign there for Rome. Also, apparently the Islamic missionary did not spread religion here, which doesn't make any sense because it can't fail in a city that has no religion yet. It's guaranteed to succeed normally. Charlemagne, okay, also now on a settler, so that's a good sign for him. Oh, never mind. Charlemagne's doing a little better than I thought. He has a settler here, and then another settler down here. So that's a good sign. Like we said, and Caesar just has missionaries running around unprotected in the wilderness. Here comes Louis with a settler. Yeah, Caesar could end up getting pinned up here in the tundra if he doesn't get his act together. Like I said, he does have more settlers coming out, but the map is starting to get chewed up. So Ramses, though, is not expanding very well. He's like slowly producing another settler. Kublai doesn't seem to be expanding at the moment, for what that's worth. All right, and then Rome finished that settler with another one in production. I'm curious how close the borders are to expanding at Antium. It has to be pretty close. Okay, we'll pop next turn. Rome's borders are going to pop to grab, yeah. Rome is not on ironworking, though, just FYI. And there's a settler in Rome, but it's not moving yet. So Charlemagne does grab this spot. Very little in the way of food, but it's got a copper resource, so that makes it pretty valuable. Right now he has horses, but no metals. And Hannibal, not expanding that well in this game. He's got a settler right here, but he has to go move it somewhere for it to do anything. I guess he's moving it east to this corner of the map. Too early to be checked. Well, that wasn't a check for cultural victory. Fair enough. So Ramses grabs this Plains Hill plant. This is a surprisingly good city between the horses and the crabs and the Plains Hill plant. All that makes for good stuff. Kublai obviously got a settler out I wasn't watching because he got this spot here, Old Sarai. Louis has now lost everything to the south of his capital. He's gone due east, but he hasn't gotten anything to the south. Kublai is doing pretty well for himself on the land grab. Also has grabbed a metal. Must have copper somewhere. Because I see a spear. Yeah, so has grabbed this copper. This really should have gone to Louis, but nope, was grabbed instead by Kublai there. The relationship between Ramses and Hannibal, probably not good. So Louis is the worst enemy of Julius and okay, that might be a trouble for Louis if he's the worst enemy of Julius Caesar. And Louis is you said Ramses and Hannibal. So Ramses is cautious with Hannibal. Hannibal is cautious with him. Okay. Interesting. This does not bode well for Louis' survival. Ramses is the worst enemy of Louis, but that's it. Interesting. So again, Rome has a settler in the capital, but he's not moving it out. Okay, now he finally moved it out. And again, looks like he's headed down to this spot. Is Louis heading even further east right now? He's got a settler on the map. He's just kind of randomly walking around. Alright, so that's 50 turns. Let's get our overview, shall we? You know, the map is not as filled up as I was expecting at this point. Well, we'll go ahead and take our typical overview regardless. Still a lot of space for... Considering we have 2 imperialistic leaders, I would have thought more of it would be claimed at this point. Let's look at our graphs, shall we? Hannibal's first in score for the time being. It's pretty close, except Charlemagne seems to be trailing for whatever reason. Alright, so GMP, there's not much difference just yet. Food, it's pretty close, except Kublay's slightly ahead. Production, Kublai and Rome seem to be ahead. Louis in last. Louis trying to build the Great Wall with his culture. Yeah. Power, it's pretty close, except Hannibal's ahead. Hannibal's gotten a noticeable lead. Culture, Louis first. Alright. And then we looked at the relationship bar graph a minute ago, but it seems like the biggest issue is Louis doesn't seem to like much of anyone, except Kublai. Kublai and him are on pretty good terms. Where's Kublai? Yeah, Kublai, they're pleased with each other, so they seem pretty happy. The Eastern civs do not seem to like Louis very much, though. Also, he's got an... wow, why in the world does he want to keep going east like this? That is such a random thing. It's like, no, I won't expand north or south. Okay, so Caesar was delayed, but he did get this spot eventually, and I do think this is pretty important that he's the one claiming the copper and not Louis. Does Louis have any metals? I guess he has iron over there. He does have iron, so he'll get this eventually, but you know, he had a copper only 4 tiles south of his capital that he didn't get, and then he had this one that he also didn't get. So not great stuff from Louis, certainly. I mean, he's first in score, but like, I wouldn't put too much stock in that. He's first in score because he founded a religion and he built an early wonder, and he's getting a lot of points for territory in his control. Rome's going for Temple of Artemis for some reason, but Rome is going to connect that silver, and that's going to help them pretty significantly. The AI really does do better when it has the happiness resources. Like the gold is going to help Charlemagne a lot, who as he continues to expand. He's got a settler out here too. So it looks like he's going to grab that spot. So he's recovered pretty well from his rough opening. I will be curious to see who grabs this city here. Because like Rome needs to get a move on and claim this territory. Rome just finished a settler over here. Here it is right now. So like where the border ultimately shapes up between Holy Rome and Rome, you would think it would be like somewhere right in here. And look at this. What is with this empire from... from Louis? This is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. What is he doing here? He's just like, no, I'm going to expand in a straight line to the east. Not north, not south, east. I don't get it. Really weird stuff. And Hannibal's, aside from Utica, Hannibal's done something similar. What's this? Hannibal on double wonders here? Oracle and the pyramids. I don't know if that's a good call or not. It means that he's building a settler in a city that can't produce one very fast at all. And then we've got Egypt down here. I don't know, kind of a strange game. Does Kublai have a settler out? I think he might. Yeah, he has one in Veshbalik, so we'll watch to see where that one heads to. Headed somewhere? Oh, down here. It's under this chariot right here. And Caesar, okay. So Caesar has a settler right on this tile. This spot, okay, this spot got sniped. I think Caesar was going for this spot, but it just got grabbed by Louis, who settled on the gold tile. No food for this city at all. Wonder where Caesar's going to head now. East, yeah, I guess he has nowhere to head but east. Probably settle over here. All right, so Kublai has picked up Louis' religion. So that means he is more likely to... So this is noteworthy in the first to die category. This is a good thing if you have Ramses for first to die, and a bad thing if you have Louis for first to die. It makes Kublai much more likely to go after Ramses than it is for him to go after Louis. Because, like, where's Kublai? He's still cautious with Ramses, but Ramses is now... Yeah, Ramses doesn't seem to like anyone other than Burger King for some reason. Who's worst enemy of whom right now? Alright. So Louis is still the worst enemy of Charlie, Julius Caesar, Ramses. And Ramses is the worst enemy of Louis. I have a feeling that... Oh, wow. What the... We had 2 Barb cities pop up here? That's interesting. Hannibal's in the process of attacking this one. Oh, he auto-raised it 1 turn before it would have been captured. That's a unfortunate break for him. That city was about to grow to size 2, but he just auto-raised it before that could happen. Huh. Sucks to be him. I feel bad for everyone who has Hannibal in the competition. That's a really unfortunate break. Also, in other news, Kublai continuing to settle right up on Louis' border. Apparently doesn't care that this city is not going to control its own first-string tiles. That's a little bit crazy. And Rome is still building more settlers. I think Rome's going to found right on this tile here, right where that is, because it's a plains hill, and yeah, he's got missionaries coming in to convert it and everything. Yep. Okay. So we are starting to see the borders shape up. Rome is doing reasonably well with a self-founded religion. Looks like Rome's going to get a decent share of territory. If Rome gets this city here, Bulgar, let me go back to the culture borders. If Rome gets this, that means Rome will clean up like this whole area. If Holy Rome gets it, though, Holy Rome will be a little bit more powerful. Again, still really curious who gets this territory right here. And of course, there's still a big gap right here because Hannibal's not expanding. Ramses isn't expanding. So Kublai really could clean up here because with Louis doing whatever the heck Louis is doing. Like, there's even still territory over here that's available. Bulgar's loaded. Yeah, I know, right? Look at this city. Jeez, that's a good city. I do wonder who's going to end up claiming that. Well, we'll find out. Caesar's about to hook copper. He's still not going for ironworking, but can only be a matter of time. Yeah, Louis looks like he's going to get the Oracle, correct. Well, no, Louis is on Oracle, but I think Hannibal's going to get it. Hannibal's much closer to finishing it. In fact, I think he just finished it this turn. Yep. Let's see what tech he slingshotted. Probably metal casting, as they tend to do. Yeah, he grabbed, so he did slingshot metal casting. No surprise there. I do like the way this game is setting up for Kublai. Like, everyone on his borders has not been expanding, so he's just been able to quietly keep pushing out his borders to the east. Caesar has 2 Islamic missionaries down here. Hannibal is, you know, he's got a lot of tech, but like he just has not expanded in this game at all. Really struggling. He's lucky that he's next to 2 of the other weakest leaders. Like Charlie has struggled as well, and well, he's about to grab a spot over here, so that's good for him. All right, so that's a smart play. Oh wow, we're gonna have a major cultural competition here between Rome and Holy Rome. It's unfortunate for Caesar. He probably was planning on using the Plains cow for food at Arretium. Not going to happen now. Let's see if there's any more settlers out on the map right now. Doesn't look like Rome has any. I think France has one. No, that's a worker in France. Never mind. That's a worker from Kublai. So there's a settler here in Memphis for Ramses. And another settler up here. So Ramses is starting to spread out a little bit. And That's it. There's no, so this one from Ramses is like the only one moving around on the map right now. Yeah, France put Tours down a little bit earlier. That's been there for a little bit. So that spot that could have been Hannibal's instead ended up being Ramses instead. All right, so double wonders there. We'll go ahead and reveal the map now that a lot of the cities are down, so we can get better notifications for where wonders are popping up. The Temple of Artemis is not going to do much of anything for Julius Caesar, so kind of a pretty pointless wonder build there. He did just finish another settler, though, so... and for the time being, this city still has not come under much attack. The Holy Asgardian Empire. Note that Kublai going for the horseback riding. So Hannibal's going to have a small empire, albeit one that is better at research than anyone else is. Kublai being the score leader, though, I think is indicative of the fact that he's played a strong game thus far. He also looks like he might be gearing up for an attack because he's building a good bit of units over there. Yeah, see how Kublai's power's been going up? Maybe not. Maybe not. Hannibal's power went up for a while, too, but has kind of backed off that now. Rome does look to be pushing east, though. Has a settler moving east with a stack of units. And then there's another settler. I don't know why he keeps building settlers in Cumae. You'd think he would build settlers in Antium, not a much stronger, larger city than Cumae. Also, Rome on ironworking. Hannibal could get killed easily here. Maybe. I mean, he does have a pretty decent-sized military. So there, Hannibal finally got another city. The biggest issue for Ramses and Hannibal is, I guess, well, I was going to say the religions are kind of an issue. Caesar has been moving around some Islamic missionaries, but he hasn't managed to convert anyone, and that is kind of an issue. He probably wants at least one ally that shares Islam. There goes his settler. I don't know where this is going. Probably over here to collect some of these resources. No one has really pushed a stack up against Bulgar yet. Over here, Ramses keeps attacking Angle. War chariots would be pretty good against that city. Yeah, I think he just killed another archer. Yeah, so he killed 2 archers, then moved away. I thought Kublai had another settler down here in the southern tundra. Maybe he stopped for the time being. Louis, well, so Louis has an iron resource over here, but he has to research ironworking, and he doesn't seem to be making much of an effort. So for the time being, no, he has no metals. Again, kind of a problem there. Oh, here we go. Here's Kublai's settler. I thought he had one. Just moving it forward, no escorts or anything. And Louis somehow, put it on the borders, somehow managed not to get tiles that were right next to his capital, and yet somehow is getting cities over here. It's very, very strange. Very strange. Okay, and Caesar planted a city. I guess Mediolanum can split off the sheep resource because he doesn't need both of these for Antium, so I guess that makes sense. This city picked up Christianity from Louis, and then this city's got the 2-4 copper tile. Otherwise, it's pretty terrible. There's another settler done in Cumae as well, so we'll see if Caesar keeps pushing east to get something over here. And he's got axes out too. So far, still no action as far as wars go. Still claiming the map, still expanding. So we might have yet another religion to play around with. So yeah, we will actually, because Charlemagne he will surely adopt Hinduism. Did he go via theology or code of laws? Code of laws. So he obviously emphasized that because he wanted a religion. Will this be a game where we actually have 4 significant religions instead of 3? Could be interesting. A rarity there. Yeah, Hannibal is he's still, like, his cities are big. He's got a size 8 city, and he's leading in score, but, like, this is not a lot of territory for him, and he's basically out. He might get 1 more city, but 5 is not a lot of cities to have in a game like this. Like, even Ramses is on 6, although for some reason he's very unhappy. I don't know if he's been over-whipping or what. Kublai is on what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he had another settler moving around somewhere over here too. I think he might have missed out on some territory though. I think Caesar's on 7 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as well for Burger King. A lot of small cities, but they can all grow down over time. Well, see, Hannibal did nothing in the first 2 years of the competition. He was very disappointing in the early years, or first 2 seasons. He did well he had one really good game. So far, he has not been able to show repeat performance, though. I was curious as to where Caesar was moving his other settler. Let me see if I can find that, just because the map is mostly pretty full. Over here? What? Is he going to go and claim territory on this coastline? Okay. So, yeah, apparently. I think he's going to plant on one of these 2 tiles. That's an odd place to go. So Louis is going to get this little area over here. For some early great people getting born. Nope, and now they turned around and moved back again for some reason. Who the heck knows? So Louis did finally settle this spot over here. Really weird. Caesar does have an axe attacking this city. He probably... Oh, hold on. He's got an axe and chariot. I think he's going to get Bulgar based on... Yeah, having that stack here. Yep. With an axe and chariot, unless he gets really bad dice rolls, he should be able to take this. And that would be a pretty nice pickup for him. Yep, okay. So I'm going to say that's significant since this is such an awesome Barb city. Yeah, so it looks like he will clean up this corner of the map here, presumably. Where did that settler go that was over here? He didn't just disband it, right? Oh, here it is. Wandering around. Stream issues? Seems to be running okay. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, it looks like it's running okay. Yeah, that is a nice pickup there, for sure. That said, probably the biggest long-term issue for Caesar is that no one else shares his religion at the moment. Being religiously isolated can be a major problem long-term. So, and look at this, Ramses getting some territory over here. Ramses getting a little bit more than I thought. This city is also vulnerable to being captured because there's only 1 archer in it left. So if Charlie gets a good dice roll here, he'll get this city. Nope, didn't get the good dice roll, unfortunately for him. So that still leaves it available for probably Ramses to capture. A fair number of units there for Kublai. He certainly could settle another city down here. Those furs would be nice for him to grab. Caesar has now moved his settler all the way up here. I guess he's going to go for something along the northern coast or something. Sometimes the AI builds these settlers and they just sit around not doing anything yet. Caesar has a settler in Rome and Antium. Maybe what probably happened is by capturing the city, his maintenance costs went up and he decided to stop expanding for the time being. Something like that. So another issue for Rome is Rome's teching is pretty awful right now. I mean, nobody's really burning up the beakers. Everyone's around 20 or 30. Yeah, everybody's research rate is pretty awful right now. Yeah, the 30 is the best. They are not teching very fast at all. Let's see if anyone's been spiking in power. Yeah, Kublai. Okay, so Kublai's been going up in power. Who does Kublai dislike? Alright, Kublai. He doesn't seem to dislike anyone that much, but his most likely target would probably be Ramses. Either that or Charlemagne, yeah. Caesar really does not like Louis. Caesar doesn't seem to like anyone, but especially not Louis. Yep, was just looking at that. Louis also dislikes a lot of people. Everyone except Kublai. So that city did go over to Ramses. And he's recovered pretty well from his weak start, Ramses. He's got his shrine down. He's gotten a good amount of territory, especially given that this spot was claimed so early on by Hannibal. Yeah, Kublai can declare it pleased, right, but they are always, the AI is less likely to declare on someone they're pleased with. It's true. Kublai can declare it pleased, that's right. Good to point that out. Also, note what Rome's already has on hand. The Praetorians are online, so if Rome ends up in a war, he's not going to be in a situation where he's stuck waiting for Praetorians to pop up. So, might not be a good time for the other leaders to pick a fight with Rome. Just, just a little word of warning. Yeah. Rome's also going for monarchy. That's a pretty smart choice since Rome is struggling with happiness. I don't see any wines though, which would be they're down here, almost in his territory, not quite. Yeah, Rome is going to be a little weak on happiness resources. There's just not a lot up there. At least, I mean, if Rome were to take Tor, then all of a sudden you get double happiness resources, and that would help a lot. So, in an absence of happiness resources, monarchy is a pretty good choice. I think Rome has a settler moving around. Or nope, still. Nope, never mind. Still just sitting in those two cities. The pyramids were built by Hannibal, to answer that question. Built by Hannibal. We have a religious, confusing situation, don't we? Oh dear. Oh my. I don't know about this, Ramses. I don't know if that's such a good idea. We are going to see more shrines going up, though, presumably. Are you sure you want to settle right here? You sure you want to settle here? I don't know. Just seems like an invitation for Kublai to come and start capturing these cities. I don't know. Ramses, really pushing your luck there, buddy. So Ramses did this in the opening round game too. He settled right on the border with Ragnar, but fortunately for him, Ragnar went and attacked Stalin, and then it backfired. I'm not sure that that's going to happen here. Well, we'll see. That just seems like an invitation to get into trouble. So Caesar does build his shrine. That will help him economically. He's also cranking an awful lot of Praetorians. His worst enemy is Louis, so that might spell trouble for Louis. I think at this point it's swung back to Louis being more likely as first to die. And look, Louis is leading in score, but you can't focus too much on early score. With Rome being his enemy and Rome having Praetorians right on the border, that spells trouble. Louis did finish his shrine though, so... like we said, some early shrines. That definitely helps him economically. Poor Hannibal, man. He's going for construction, but just like he doesn't have enough territory. He does have a little stack over here. Actually, it looks like Hannibal's about to attack Charlemagne, which is an odd choice, but I guess religious tension could be a thing there. That might backfire, actually. Let's see the... Yeah, see Rome's spiking, Mongolia's spiking in power. Hannibal's been going up too. Caesar conquers Gaul and then Germania. I could see it. Yeah, Caesar going into combat against Gaul. Let's see, this might be our first war declaration right here. And it could even work because Prague, despite having city walls, only has 2 archers inside. Let's see. Yep, alright. First war of the game. And second war of the game. And second war of the game. I cannot believe that backfired against Ramses. I never saw that coming. How could he possibly get attacked? Let's see where the stack is over here. Has not marshaled right next to anything. Kublai actually should delay a turn or two so he can capture these cities instead of having them be auto-raised. So the big fight is going to be right here. Again, Prague has walls, but there's 1 archer on defense here. Charlie does move first before Hannibal, but I don't know. I don't think this is going to work out. Synchronized war declarations. Oh boy, and that was Charlie's holy city too. So he just lost the Hindu holy city. Oh, and speaking of, so the whole continent just goes to war right away. This attack, though, is not going to succeed from Caesar because that city's too well defended. All right. So everybody's at war. 3 different duels going on at the same time. Caesar should have accumulated a few more praetorians. But, excuse me. Hannibal is going construction, though, so that's a smart call. He just doesn't have enough praetorians in this stack. There's only 2, and there's like a gazillion axes, so that won't work. Meanwhile, Kublai is on the march. Again, if he's smart, he'll wait until the city expands borders. Does the grace period for wars run out? No, it's not that. We have seen AIs declare war. I think our earliest war we ever saw was like turn 55. We have seen really early wars. The reason why they tend to start around like roughly turn 75 to 80 is because that's when the map is full. Like the AI, when it's out of territory to expand peacefully, that's when it starts to turn to more violent means. This won't be an easy war for Caesar, even with praetorians. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 cities against 8 cities. So yeah, it's pretty even. He should have accumulated a bigger first strike, like a bigger initial force. Okay, well, maybe if he waits. But it's awful hard to... Oh, and Charlie just converted to Hannibal's religion. Interesting. Maybe if Caesar waits until he has a bigger stack, but I feel like he jumped the gun here a little bit. That, or he should have targeted a city like Avignon over there that has 2 archers for defense. It's a good thing that... wait, where's Louis getting his metals from? He still doesn't have that iron connect. Oh, he flipped this tile. Wow. If Louis hadn't flipped this tile, he would have no metal, and Caesar would just crush him right now. So that's very significant. Let's see if Kublai takes the city, it's going to be auto-erased again. That sucks for him. Oh, no, never mind. Huh. I guess the growth went through first. Well, good for him. So, first city down on the part of Ramses. This city is a complete toast as well. There's no way he can hold it. Giza is in a strong enough position on a hill, and I think it can hold out for a little while. But all these little colonies are just going to get snapped up. Also, Caesar, I do not know where this force is going. Yeah, Kublai, I believe, has metal. Yeah, I see swords, so he must have a source of. And look at this, Caesar's got a city in his backlines. So yeah, Kublai definitely has metals. Meanwhile, Hannibal looks like he's getting ready to move on to the next target. I don't think Hannibal's going to be able to make much more progress, but just getting Prague alone is a big win for him. All right. Yeah, that attack from Caesar did not work. He should not have ordered that. This city tour is just in a really nice defensive spot. On a hill, city walls. Not going to break that without construction. Check production. Okay. It's kind of a random thing to check. Check power while we're at it. Kublai seems to be running away with power. Caesar and Kublai seem to be tops. There's not much of a difference there. And if you want food, it's pretty close as well. Although there's a big hit. Look at the hit of losing that city on the part of Charlemagne. Pretty big loss there. All right. Meanwhile, Kublai seems to be having no difficulty running over the Egyptian cities near him. Yeah, I don't expect to see much movement in the Caesar versus Louis war until somebody gets construction. If Caesar gets construction, he'll be able to start tearing through. But until then, and he's unfortunately for him, he's a long way away from construction. We'll see. In the Hannibal versus Charlemagne war, Hannibal's pressuring this city here, Vienna. I don't know that he's going to have much success though, because of the city walls. Awful tough to push your way through there. Then again, it's a lot of chariots on defense, so who knows? Maybe Hannibal can pull this off. Let's see. And Caesar just seems to be regrouping for the moment. Shuffling units. It is funny that we ended up with these 3 duels right now, like 3 1v1s. Okay. Looks like if there's going to be an attack, it's going to come in here at Vienna. Also, Charlie's trying to recapture this city at Prague, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nope, still hasn't ordered the attack yet. Rome is still just like wandering around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this if you want to defend against Praetorians, stuff 5 axes in a city behind walls and promote the top one to shock. Good way to stop that. Kublai has slowed down a bit. I thought he was going to have no trouble capturing Byblos, but he has not been able to do so yet. Still waiting there. And up here, Hannibal is wandering. I mean that Rome is roaming. It's true. Hannibal, I have no idea what these stacks are doing. So Caesar's back again. Again, I really don't think he's going to do any better, even if he combines all these units. Just too many defensive bonuses stacked up there. Okay, Kublai is now finally going to come down here and take Byblos, but he's still a turn away. Well, then again, if Caesar throws enough units at this city, maybe if he combines all these units together, maybe. All right, Ramses. Wait, what? Why did Kublai sign peace there? He was winning that war. Look at this. Look at this force outside Byblos. He was about to take that city. I don't get it. That was not Apostolic Palace because it hasn't been built yet. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Well, who knows? Hannibal is still floundering around here and not really doing much of anything. We'll see if Caesar combines these 2 stacks together into one. Yep. So he is still gathering his forces, it looks like. I don't think he has enough forces, though. Look how many units are in there. The chariots don't get defensive bonuses, but that's a lot of axes. Awful lot of axes. Caesar does appear to be going for construction, though, because he's on math. Yep, so Caesar is very slowly making his way to construction. That is the tech he needs. Just going to take him a while to get there. Also, why is he building settlers? He has settlers unused right now. I don't know why he'd be building even more. I thought he had 2 settlers that were unused. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe he disbanded them or lost them somehow. Round them up next to the barbarians or something. Oh well, who the heck knows. So we're down to 2 wars now. Caesar really wants that one city. He appears to want this. I mean, if he unlocks this city, it will kind of open a pretty clear path forward. It's a good city. You know, it would give him a gold resource and the spices over here. So it is a worthwhile target to be going after. But it's just a really hard nut to crack. He could take it easily once he has catapults. That's what he needs. Also, Louis finally going for ironworking. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Where's Louis getting? Oh, never mind. I was going to say Louis was getting copper from this tile, but he has copper over here, so he's okay. All right. Back to the action. Yes, we'll see if Caesar actually orders the attack this turn. He should not if he is wise. At the very least, he needs to combine these 2 forces together, or just keep shuffling in circles. That works too, I guess. A lot of units in this part of the map. Hannibal, that is not going to be enough to capture that city, unless I'm mistaken. But maybe with catapults, I see that Carthage has some of the cats. That said, Caesar is starting to pile up an awful lot of Praetorians around this city. Oh, never mind. Look, he attacked and just nothing happened. He promoted some of the axes. Now even more of them have shock. Yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything until he researches construction. Carthage's war elephants, though, historically appropriate. But they tried to attack Vienna and killed some of the defenders, it looks like. Not enough, though. Yeah, the smartest thing for Rome would be to sign peace and to come back later on when he has construction and can take out the defenses. Great Lighthouse would be a nice pickup, though, because Caesar has like 4 coastal cities, something like that. Has Louis built any wonders? Not recently. He's been building units because he kind of had to. Oh, and look at this. Prague got recaptured. So Hannibal lost his... And Ramses got the Great Lighthouse before Caesar. Good for him. Although Ramses has... he has 3 coastal cities if you count the ones in the deep southern tundra. Caesar's like, yeah, that didn't work. But he is on construction now, so... Pretty big waste of units, though. Still trying to attack there. Alright, turn 100. Yeah, this is not happening. Now, actually, because Caesar's lost so many units, Ravenna and Arretium are actually kind of vulnerable to counterattack at this point. Yeah, look at that. Pretty severe losses. GNP, so Hannibal is the leader in GNP, not surprisingly. Production, Caesar's tops in that. Food, Caesar's tops in that. Culture, Louis is leading. So, since I know you guys are going to request it, turn 100 is a good time. You can change up the music. Pretty sure everyone has iron working at this point, so they won't get the discount. See, called it. At least Hannibal built a forge in his holy city. Yeah, so Hannibal, this war is not going great for him. Could we see Hannibal for first to die? That would certainly be unexpected. Yeah, his force just got cleaned up. So now Louis has a little force that's moving out. Yeah, Caesar mostly just promoted a lot of the defenders and all that. Not the most successful war. Meanwhile, Kublai is taking, and Ramses are taking this time to build up a little bit. Ramses building mausoleum. That's would be nice for him if he grabbed that. The ivory is definitely helping Hannibal with those elephants. A lot of great generals. So this force doesn't really have any more chance of success than Caesar's offensive forces did. Like, it can trickle in here, but that Arretium's a city on a hill with Praetorians on defense, and there's even a spear in there. Alright, so that's a nice wonder for Hannibal. He continues to get some nice wonders. He just has so little territory. And this war, if he had signed peace after capturing Prague, that would have been a much more successful war for him. Yeah, so that attack at Arretium went about as well as you'd expect. I don't think he even scratched the defenders. Yeah, just barely. Just barely scratched them. No, Charlemagne has been Jewish for a little while now. It was not that recent. I don't know why Kublai has a random... Maybe Kublai is going to attack this Barb city up here. It's just kind of like chilling up in the tundra. Yeah, that attack did not work. So Caesar will finish construction. Getting ready with more elephants and Numidian calves. Note that Hannibal and Charlemagne are in last place in score. Charlemagne is now getting construction as well. Louis still leading the game in score, which is surprising to me. Let's check the power graphs again just real quickly, because I'm curious. So Caesar took that beating, but now his power's recovered, and Louis just took a dive, so... Yep, Caesar if he builds some catapults here, which he should if he's smart, and then goes back and sieges down that city. Here he is, he's back again with more Praetorians. And now the defenses of that city don't look quite as strong. Louis has been building swords because he finally researched ironworking. Yeah, Louis' score is heavily based on territory, that's correct. That said, look at the size of his cities, though. 10, 12, 10, 9, 8. Like, he does have some large cities as well. So some of it's from population. There's a statue of Zeus build. That'll make Ramses an annoying opponent to deal with. Also, Bulgar has now been improved by workers, and it's up to being a pretty kick-ass city. has been integrated into the Roman territory. Anyone doing anything in this war, by the way? No, this war seems pretty quiet. That war is still active, though. No, Caesar, wait until you have catapults to bring down the defenses. Wait for your catapults. Is he building any? Why tech construction and then not build catapults? Nope, still hasn't built any. Still building chariots. Did Ramses just plant? Oh, you're right, he did. Good catch, antisocial. I don't really understand all of this. Of course, Kublai has allowed him to do this. He signed peace when Byblos would have fallen on the very next turn. So I don't know. I don't get it. Don't quite understand Kublai. I think he's planning another war with Ramses. But note that Ramses will probably have feudalism by the time that happens, so I don't know. Caesar still attacking here. He actually did kill quite a few axes that turn. And the reason why I know that is because the Praetorians are sitting here not dead. Like, when you see Praetorian with like 1.6 health, that means it attacked and survived. So he did, and he did kill the axe, almost all the axes. There's only one left in here. That said, if he would just wait for catapults to arrive and drop the defenses, that would make this enormously easier. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Still not building any catapults. Well, Hannibal's built a new stack, but it's not much of one. City Raider does do wonders for you. City Raider Praetorians are pretty darn good. Comes another force. Ramses did build the statue of Zeus. I don't understand why Caesar would tech tech construction, and he is not building even one catapult anywhere in his territory. All right, so we're back for another attack on Prague again. A lot of Praetorians. This city tour has just been a rock, though. And then there's like this random 2-chariot force over here. Wouldn't that be funny if the chariots were able to capture this city, that after the humongous armies weren't able to do anything over here? Statue of Osiris, more or less. Even though this is a pretty lousy attack force, it might be enough to capture Prague, although there's a much larger force from Charlie coming after Hippo over here. Oh, finally! You finally build a catapult. Little late. Most of his cities are building stables. Yep, so that attack didn't work. Yeah, most of the defenders just got promoted. So again, Caesar really wasting a ton of production here. Note that he's been dropping down the scoreboard a little bit. Just wasting so many units, although I guess now he can build war elephants. Less of a big, someone must be trading him ivory. Less of a big deal for Caesar because he already has Praetorians, but wow, what a waste. Kublai I don't believe is attacking Caesar. Kublai I believe is running units up here to try and deal with this Barb city. Meanwhile, over here we have 2 simultaneous sieges going on of Prague and Hippo. So Prague is down to just 2 units remaining, but the attack force also is down to just 2 units remaining. And then Hippo got attacked or catapulted or something. Oh man. Prague came so close. Look, 1 sword with 2 health left is all that's remaining. But it'll get reinforced because Charlie moves first. So meanwhile, Kublai, is he like planning to attack someone? It's hard to say. Let's just see, who does Kublai like and dislike? He doesn't like Ramses, so that's his most likely target. Ramses doesn't like Kublai or Louis. So those would be the ones most likely to be targeted. If you want to see how much power Caesar lost, yeah, there it is. That's him attacking and basically killing nothing. Those are his two big attacks. Can Louis build elephants? I think he could, but I don't see any horse archer. I don't see any ivory. And yet, like, somehow Ramses just hanging in there quietly. He's up to feudalism now. I have no idea what those two chariots are doing. So I think Charlemagne is slowly getting the benefit of this war with Hannibal, I think. Although, mostly the two of them just don't seem to be making any progress. Okay, so that's what Caesar should have done earlier. So, Louis and Julius Caesar signed peace. That probably allow Caesar to train up a catapult corps. The Barb city up there was auto-raised by Kublai because it had never expanded borders. So, like I said, that's something Caesar should have done a long time ago. Also, it looks like Louis does have ivory because he's now building elephants. And Louis is building the Apostolic Palace, indeed. So we continue to roll on with no one eliminated and no one particularly close to being eliminated. Pretty late in the game for that to be happening. And it's pretty tight on the scoreboard, too. I continue to be shocked that Ramses is doing this well. His ridiculously aggressive city placements have not come back to bite him in the way that they should have. Like, Kublai has not punished him in the way that he probably should have. Alright, so there's the AP. Tuned to Christianity. So we'll see if Louis uses that to wreak mischief on the other players. There is a renewed Holy Roman attack, but again, this isn't. I can't see this going anywhere. How does Caesar feel about Burgerman? Let's see. Well, he dislikes Louis. He's basically cautious with everyone other than Hannibal for some reason. So a lot of cautious with the other leaders. Ramses also apparently loves his religious comrades. Like, just loves them. So it's been kind of a stagnant game for the most part. Kind of interesting the way that's worked. Caesar rebuilding his power. Ramses is actually increasing his power, though. Kind of interesting. He won't be first to die if he's killing someone else. See which civs don't have any Christian cities. Alright. Go to the religious indicator. So Caesar does. Charlemagne does not have any cities that are Christian. Neither does Hannibal. Neither does Ramses. So the three eastern civs all do not have any Christian cities. Good question. And this war over here, no one seems to be able to make progress. All right, Hannibal looks like he's in the process of mopping up the latest stack. Worst enemy of Kublai. I feel like the jungle terrain over here has probably been part of the reason why this war's been pretty stagnant, why they've been struggling. Boy, Louis and Ramses, the big favorites for first to die in first and second right now. That's pretty amusing. There is another world in which Caesar waits until he has catapults before attacking. Also, Caesar's now settled the spot where that Barb city was. There's another world where Caesar waits until he has catapults to attack Louis and then takes out that city immediately instead of beating his head against it. Okay, well, okay. Well, you guys were right to worry if Caesar was going to go after someone else, because he just did. Goes after Charlie. Well, that might be enough to flip this, because Charlemagne is pretty exhausted. This is a really well-timed war from Caesar, hitting an enemy that's been fighting forever, and in a position where he can capture a lot of territory. Yeah, like, this city is toast. Caesar has catapults, he's got Praetorians. Eat at Burger King. He's going to be slowed a little bit by the defenses, but like that city is definitely toast, and I don't see much to stop him from marching further east from there. Not with Hannibal occupying, yeah, like this is the main stack. Yeah, Charlie's last in power. Also, look at this, Ramses. He's thinking about hitting somebody, and it's probably Kublai or Louis. Could be either. Although Kublai is his worst enemy, so it's more likely. Interesting. Yeah, as long as Louis does not attack Caesar, he should be able to march through here without much trouble. This is what Sicily and Magna Graecia felt during the First Punic War. Yeah, I mean, longbows are nice, but the longbows are not going to stop a whole bunch of Praetorians once the walls are down. Yeah, nothing going on over there on the front lines. The catapults just make all the difference in the world. You need to be able to get through the defenses. Ramses still wonder building. I'm also surprised at how Kublai Khan has been really passive in this game. He tends to be a fairly aggressive leader, but he pieced out at a time when he easily could have cut off. Like, imagine how much weaker Ramses would be if this city was in Kublai's control and this city as well. Like, you know, chop off these two cities and Ramses is a lot weaker. Oh well. So the walls are down at Mans. And that means the attack will probably come in on the next turn, presumably. Louis did a big civic swap. Louis seems trying to head towards a cultural victory. Alright, so that's as expected, to no surprise. We'll just refresh the map in the wake of that city capture, because there have been some more cities popping up here and there. Yeah, Caesar's teching rate is not very good, but if he could take out half of Holy Rome, that would certainly make him a lot stronger. This is also helping Hannibal too, obviously, who's now making progress over here. And has crossbows. I think Hannibal's actually the tech leader. We'll have to check the tech situation in a turn or two. Care to assist us? Caesar is still the worst enemy of Louis, but that just might provide him with more opportunities down the road. Alright, and there's another war. We did see that coming. We saw Ramses building up. I wonder how this will turn out. Of course, this could be good for Kublai if he can turn this around and hit some of the... like, Byblos is still a ridiculously exposed city, but... Alright, we'll have to watch this too. Carthage is Trebs as well. Okay. So let's see where... I assume that Samarkand is the city being targeted. Longbows in a city on a hill, pretty strong. Are there any catapults with this force at all? It seems to be mostly war chariots. I don't know if I see any catapults, which mean that that stack is pretty exposed. Yeah, I don't know about this, Ramses. This could potentially backfire. Where we stand right now in terms of power. Yeah, Kublai's first in power. I don't know. Like, Caesar is in a better spot right now, but Kublai could be in position to do well here, too. Anyway, Prague looks like it's going to be attacked next. Unfortunately for Hannibal, most of his forces are catapults, and they can't kill units or capture cities. But he has another stack following up. That's in a much better spot. Over here, this city, yeah, is probably... We'll see. Meanwhile, let's see what happens to this front down here. Yeah, so Ramses' initial stack just got cleaned up. He's got another one over here, but that looks pretty exposed too. I don't know, Ramses. This might backfire. Prague is probably going to be captured here. Maybe. Alright, here comes Caesar's follow-up force. He does have one catapult to take out defenses. I don't think Augsburg has city walls yet either. Nope, no city walls, so that will not take a gazillion turns to bombard down. And here comes 2 more catapults. Ramsey's only just finished construction. Let's see what happens here at Prague. Does Hannibal have enough? Not on this turn. Still being stymied. Now, he is really struggling, and meanwhile Caesar's like, thank you very much, I'll just keep walking forward. Or not, he went a tile back to regroup. Alright, so you guys requested a tech overview, so let's do that real quick. Alright, so beaker rate. Charlie's right at 100. Hannibal's at 175. Caesar's at 88. Yeah, Caesar's teching's pretty bad. Kublai 97. Louis 107. Oh, well, pretty much everyone's around 100. Okay, Ramsey's at 201. So Ramses and Hannibal are the tech leaders right now, at least in beaker rate. I suspect that that's on the tech tree as well. Alright, so Charlie, researching civil service. Doesn't have machinery, so he won't be able to build maces. Is still missing an awful lot of techs. No metal casting, nothing on the top of the tree. No engineering. Hannibal is about the same spot. Yeah, Hannibal's roughly the same, although he does have machinery. So he's about to unlock maces. Caesar's a little further behind, going for calendar. Still missing a lot. No metal casting, no code of laws. Yeah, Caesar's not that far along in tech. Kublai, slightly further along on civil service, has feudalism, has calendar. Louis, but like no one's really that far ahead in tech. Everyone's pretty comparable. And Ramses is going for the music, great artist, has theology. I think Ramses is the furthest ahead in tech right now, although he's missing metal casting too. Yeah, Hannibal's biggest issue is he just doesn't have much territory, and that's the reason, if you're wondering why, going back to before this game started, when I gave my rationale, I didn't pick him specifically because I thought he might get squeezed on land, and so far that's what's happening, is he has gotten in a position where he just didn't have a lot of territory. Oh, okay. Here comes the counter-attacking force from Kublai. Finally wants to go after Byblos. It is a city on a hill with walls, though, so he might have some trouble there. Prague is still holding out, although I think Hannibal is finally going to take it. His Caesar is, yeah, Caesar's moving in. Caesar should get Augsburg. But Prague, I think, is going to get captured here by... Oh, maybe not. Nope, it got reinforced again. So, like, remember what this is doing. Charlie continues to reinforce Prague every turn because it's under attack by Hannibal. And meanwhile, Caesar's just like, all right, fine. Yeah, don't reinforce any of these cities. I'll just keep cleaning up over here. Kublai just gets double wonders. Oh, he has a catapult. Okay, so he's stopping to bombard the defenses at Byblos. What he should do is just run down here and take the city because it has only 2 longbows and then come back, but the AI doesn't work like that, so... Yeah, you're right, Hannibal does have engineering, so he's got the trebuchets and the castle walls. So yeah, Prague still holding out for the time being. Augsburg may actually get captured before Prague because the defenses are going to be down. No, nope, never mind. Prague taken first. Augsburg is about to get captured, though. Yeah, Byblos is in the process of getting chipped at. So I don't think Charlie's going to be able to recapture that city. And he's about to lose this city because it has two units left in there. And it's pretty easy for Caesar to keep walking on to the next city, too. So we'll see. Looks like this territory is going to be roughly partitioned. We'll see. Caesar's gotten 2 cities so far. Hannibal's gotten 1. Alright. Refresh the map again. But needless to say, this was a great move for Caesar. And because he hates Louis, like he already has a lot of antipathy with Louis, it means that he is probably going to come back to attack Louis later on. I didn't notice this. There's a siege going on here at Angol. A very slow siege because Kublai built Chichen Itza. So we have dual sieges going on down here, one for each side. Okay, so Kublai just moved up a whole bunch of catapults, so he should be able to speed this up a little bit. Ramsey's still building the Great Library. Also, Charlie's just about dead, so barring something bizarre happening, Charlie is going to be the first to die, which is something almost no one picked. I did say before the game, I thought Charlemagne had been picked by almost no one. I was like, I think he's actually a pretty good candidate for first to die because his peace weight's quite high as well. But given that he's protective and Ramses doesn't build units, I do think that Ramses was more likely to be the first to die, even though it has not happened in this game. That said, I still think Ramses does not survive to the end of this game. Hannibal builds another wonder. Wait, is this an AP resolution? Yep. AP cheese! AP cheese! 3 war declarations. Oh boy, maybe Ramses is first to die after all. So that gets us up to 8 wars. So wait. Everyone just declared war on him. So who is it? So it looks like Louis declared war and then used the AP to pull Caesar and Hannibal into the war as well. Now maybe Ramses is first to die. We'll see. I don't think Caesar's going to be diverted from his current war. He has no units anywhere close. Deus Vult Crusade. So maybe Ramses is first to die. I still think Charlie falls first. What this might do is it might pull Hannibal down here, though. It could mean that Caesar gets more of the spoils from the war against Charlie, since Hannibal has, Hannibal's right on the border with Ramses. We'll see. This is a pretty weird circumstance. Why can't we just have good AP cheese? All right, so Byblos falls. Wait, he's already up to paper? Huh. With that city getting captured, probably means that the little city down here, Akhetaten, is also probably toast. Come on, Caesar, where's your stack? Is it still healing? I guess he's still healing. I expect he'll move onto that tile, like next turn. So Hannibal is still moving. All right, Hannibal was not diverted yet. Looks like he's headed for Ulm or Aachen, one of the two. And we do still have that siege at Angle. There's probably enough longbows there to hold out for the time being. Kublai should probably just move some of his forces over and kill that stack, although he stupidly left a forest unchopped, so he can't attack that. Well, it would be nice to have a way to see the AP. Yeah, it would be nice if we had a way to see the AP voting. Maybe we can find a mod to do that, like just a very basic mod that that just basically disables the AP's diplomatic victory function, something like that. Caesar still has not moved out yet. Oh, yes, he has. He moved here. It's his force right here. I guess he's going for Vienna. I would have thought Nuremberg, but apparently not. And then this force is going after Ulm. Should be able to capture that. How about down in the south? Angle still under siege. Okay, yeah, it looks like Kublai is headed for this city. How about on the front lines between Hannibal and... Remember, Louis is at war with Ramses as well, though Louis has not sent any units yet. Yeah, that city may have been an overreach. War with Ramses. Look at this poor guy. War with Hannibal, war with Caesar, war with Kublai, war with Louis. Again, this is why I thought he was the favorite for first to die. Alright, I still don't know where this stack is going. But Ulm looks like it's going to fall here. Yeah, with catapults for collateral, that city's not going to last. So Hannibal is now... Score's now 2-2 as far as cities captured from Holy Rome. Caesar has another little stack trailing in. I wonder if he's going for Aachen or Vienna at this point. It's hard to know. Well, we'll find out sooner or later. This city's going to get captured. How about that siege over here at Angle? Still ongoing, still very slow. One thing that Chichen Itza does is it really drags out the wars. Like, it takes so long to siege down a city that's protected by Chichen Itza. Alright, so that city was captured as well. Kublai is now definitely on the rise. That must be the divine right religion. Because I think we already had the philosophy religion. Maybe it was philosophy. Nope, it was the philosophy religion. Boy, we're in a slower tech pace than I thought. Has not been a fast teching game, let's say that. Alright, so now there's a race on for the capital between Caesar and Hannibal over here. This is what Egypt felt like in the Middle Ages. Franks and Mongols rampaging everywhere. Yeah, this is just who's going to get the city, basically. Hannibal needs it really badly, since he's so starved on territory. We'll see if he actually does get it, though. Caesar is bringing more units to the party, so he's more likely. Those city defenses are not going to last long at all, though. Not with all the catapults and trebs next to it. So Louis has finally started to put together a force. Not much of one, but he will divert some attention. And that'll help Kublai with his war. So Hannibal goes first. I think the way this plays out is Hannibal goes first, takes out the defenses, and then Caesar attacks and takes the city. If he has enough units, he might not have enough, because there's a decent number in the city of Aachen. Well, it looks like that was right. I did predict it correctly, fortunately. So that was a bad turn for Hannibal, but good news for Caesar. Since I have Caesar to win this game, I'm pretty happy with that. Caesar will definitely get Nuremberg. Now the question is, can Hannibal manage to get Vienna? So Caesar's taken 3 cities to 2 for Hannibal at this point. As far as the Egyptian war is going, Kublai's on the move again against Giza. That siege is still going on at Angle. Just kind of like ignored there. Yeah, the Roman-Carthaginian alliance is weird, right? It's the frenemies alliance. So Giza is being sieged, Alexandria is being sieged. Now the race is on for the rest of the spoils. I think Caesar's headed for Nuremberg, but I'm not... Wow, that city has like nothing in it. Capturing the 5 workers in there would be pretty nice for Rome as well. All those workers can be pretty valuable since the AI is not great at training workers. Alright, Louis has not managed to take that city yet, but he will on the next turn. Caesar also just trips a Golden Age, okay. Yeah, it looks like they'll probably split these last 2 cities, unless something weird happens. Ramsey's still trying to go for a cultural victory. Ramsey's units are like in low Elog League game. Base falling down, better split push. Something like that. Okay, so Alexandria's going to get captured here. There it goes. So Louis did get something out of this. Continues to be the score leader. That was turn 150. Well, we can probably do a big overview after in a couple turns, but just so we can see the bar graphs, we'll take a quick look. All right, so GMP. Well, Rome's GMP went up a lot from something. Oh, that's because he went into a golden age, yeah. Caesar's biggest weakness is he tends to be pretty terrible at teching, but if he's bigger than everyone else in this game, it might not matter. Yeah, even in a golden age, he's still weaker than a lot of these other ones. All right. Although, to be fair, some of that's probably culture, right? Louis has a ton of culture. Kublai has creative, so he gets culture that way. Yeah. But it's not all that. His research rate really is not great. All right, so there's Caesar. He is leading in production, though. Even outside the Golden Age, Caesar's leading in production. Louis is leading in food. That's kind of interesting. The big nosedive there from Ramses. And then power, okay. Yeah, Caesar's got a big army. That's not surprising. And Ramses was one of the leaders, is not one of the leaders anymore. Okay, apparently Ramses used a culture bomb at one point. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of where we stand. Oh, and the Mongols did take the city on their borders. Also, that was the Golden Age from Kublai. So Ramses is in the process of collapsing. It just looks like he will collapse slower than Ramses did. Or Ramses will collapse slower than Charlie did, excuse me. This is also going to be interesting to see who gets the final blow here on poor Charlemagne. I think it's going to be Caesar, because I think Hannibal goes first and takes Vienna, followed by Caesar attacking and taking Nuremberg. I think both of these cities get taken on the same turn. Yep. Both of the last two cities both falling the same time. So see, Vienna falls first, followed by Nuremberg. So Caesar is the one who gets the killed. All right, Charlie first to die. So let me go ahead and write that in our spreadsheet. All right, first eliminated. Yeah, it was not a popular pick for first to die. Very few people had that, but for those who did, good call. You guys got it right. All right, so he finishes in last for this game. Like I said, a well-timed war declaration by Caesar. All right, it's turn 152. And we got to mark the kill for Caesar, who's been on a tear. That's his 4th kill of the competition this year. Not in Stalin. We're not in Stalin territory yet. Stalin has 6 kills in this competition, but 3 in the first round and already 1 in the second round. Not bad. No, I mean, that goes down to who got the killing blow, right? So Hannibal took out Vienna, and then Caesar followed. So Caesar's the one who got the kill. We don't do half kills. It's the one who gets it. Caesar secured the final blow. Like I said, that's just randomness of turn order, but, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah, Punic Alliance, not Punic War. All right, so we still do have this ongoing war in Egypt. This is a place where Hannibal could potentially get another city or two, which would certainly help him, given his lack of territory. So Hannibal picked up 3 cities, and Caesar picked up 4, is I believe the way that that played out. For that matter, Rome will probably start marching its armies down to the south, too. Yeah, just so we can see. So Caesar picked up Man, Augsburg, Nuremberg, and Aachen. That's the divine right religion. And Hannibal picked up Ulm, Prague, and Vienna. He also founded this city. This is a brand new city. So he also got 4 cities as well. Good haul for both of them. They both picked up a lot of useful stuff. It's put Hannibal back into the game again, basically. He's still one of the weaker AIs, but that gives him enough territory to be competitive now. If he had been stuck on 5 cities, then he just would inevitably get outscaled. So now, everyone in the game who's still alive is at war with Ramses, thanks to the Apostolic Palace. He's at war with everyone and the worst enemy of everyone. Yeah, everybody hates poor Ramses now. Kublai on guilds, that's noteworthy. Caesar, just since we've been focusing a lot on Caesar in this game, what he should do right now is just chill out for a little while, build some infrastructure, like incorporate these new additions into his territory, and then look to hit Louis after this war is over. No one will start a new war while they're already in a war, so we won't see any wars start unless someone signs peace with Ramses and gets out of this war. Alright, so there's a capture for Kublai. This war has been exactly what Kublai needed. From someone who was like getting squeezed on territory, now he's already picked up what? Akhetaten, Byblos, Giza, now he's grabbed Pi-Ramesses. And it looks like that siege ultimately failed at Angel, the one that was going on forever. Louis did pick up a holy city for what that's worth, although Confucianism has not been very widely spread. I will say one of the issues for Caesar is no one else follows his religion. Could be trouble down the road for him, potentially. Kublai is probably in the best overall position out of any leader at the current moment. Caesar's also behind in tech, which is not helping him either. That said, here comes the Roman army to try and grab some more spoils, so maybe he gets some territory down there. You know, maybe he captures one of these cities. I mean, sure, why not? The Roman armies are pretty large. Would be difficult to hold it, though, because it'll be surrounded by culture of other civs. So anyway, right now the game is just kind of like in a holding pattern until Ramses is gone. That city became a holy city. Oh, after Louis took it. Okay. That's right, because he picked up the divine right religion or whatever. Yep, so we're pretty much just watching and waiting. Yeah, you guys were right. I see it was in the chat. As Louis continues to build every wonder under the sun, including the historically appropriate Versailles. Caesar has not stopped building units. I guess it's not that surprising, since he is technically at war, and the AI can't distinguish between like a real war and a totally phony one. I'm going to laugh if Caesar is the one who gets Memphis down here. There's another shrine for a minority religion. Memphis certainly seems to be a gathering point for some of these enemies. Oh, and Hannibal just took a city. I didn't even know he was sieging Elephantine. This tile right here has an awful lot of units on it. It has both the Roman and the French stacks, and then the Mongol one is over here. So Caesar moves first. He might capture this city because he has an awful lot of units, and he moves first before Louis and Kublai, just barely in alphabetical order. Okay. So Rome claims that and jumps to the top of the scoreboard. Judaism's pretty widely spread, so that's a very valuable city to hold, assuming he can hold it. If you look at the faith, Judaism. Yeah, Judaism is one of the world. Wow. Yeah, okay. That's a valuable shrine city to hold. Look at Judaism. Has been widely spread by Ramses. Of course, the question is, can Caesar hold this city when it's surrounded by a lot of culture from other civs? That I don't know. Oh, yeah, and Statue of Zeus as well, one of the key wonders. Has that been captured yet? No, not yet. It's in Thebes. Good call. Okay, so it's in Thebes for whoever gets that. Are you kidding me? That's a bad pun. Actually, you know what? This is so deep in Egyptian territory. Caesar should be able to hold this no problem. Look, because like there's no other cities that border it, especially if he gets one of these other two cities. Hannibal is running around with knights. I believe that Kublai has knights as well. Yeah, Kublai also has knights. Have we had a game where Civ hasn't invaded an isolated city on the other side of the world? I don't think so. That seems to be pretty common. So it's a total grab bag as to who gets this city, because there's 4 different armies converging on it. Very few defenders, too. Again, the smart thing would just be to attack this city, but we know that they'll all stop to bombard the defenses. So this is a total coin toss as to who gets this. Look at this tile, by the way. Can you see all the units over there? That's really ridiculous. I'm not even going to attempt to make sense of the forces there. Thebes is a very nice prize for whoever gets it. Louis. It's Louis who picks it up. A very nice pickup indeed. Hannibal goes to police state. I mean, it really is just dumb luck as whose stack is in the right place to capture these cities. And then the dice says Louis. So one more. And now everyone races down to the southern coast. So as coming out of this war, Louis and Caesar seem to be tops in score, with Kublai not far behind. And then there's a big drop. Well, I was going to say a big drop off to Hannibal, but not that big of a drop off. Hannibal has gotten enough territory from these wars, like I said, to put himself back in the game, especially with his financial trait. Gives him an edge as far as teching goes. Alright, I think Hannibal's going to get this city and claim the kill, because he moves first out of all these. Yeah, we know. Yeah, because Hannibal moves first, and there's really very little on defense in here. Yep. All right, so Hannibal and Caesar ended up splitting the first 2 kills, which feels pretty fair. Aside from the fact that Kublai didn't get a kill, which he probably deserved. So Hannibal claims that one. All right, so yeah, didn't last much longer, right? So Ramses, those first to die picks for Ramses, I don't think were bad picks or anything. Just didn't play out quite the way we were expecting. Took a little bit longer for him to die. So turn 170. I will continue to insist I had the right idea in picking him first to die. And Hannibal gets the kill. Hannibal up to 3 kills now this year. All right, so let's advance it to turn 175, and then we'll do a big check. Thebes to flip to Carthage. No, Luis very strong culturally. I think he can hold that spot. So we'll just advance a couple turns to let everything sort itself out, and then check again. So because everybody shared a mutual military struggle, there's a lot of improved feelings, except Louis. He doesn't seem to like Hannibal or Caesar, and Caesar is still cautious with Louis. Hannibal will not declare it pleased, so he's out for the time being. Kublai can. He can attack Caesar, but no one else. He seems to like the other two. Louis can attack, and Caesar can declare it pleased, so he also can attack anyone, although he's more likely to attack Louis. Yeah, we've got a real game on our hands here. Luis has a very realistic chance to win this game as well, right now. I think a lot will turn on how the diplomacy shakes out, because all of these leaders are fairly evenly matched. Like, there's no real runt states anymore. Everybody's pretty strong. It does look like Caesar's taken over as the score leader, because he's picked up the most territory in that round of wars. For the time being. But, I mean, it's close, right? Look how close it is. And Louis might grab that back if he claims... Wait, who ended up getting the mausoleum? So that was built as well by... let's see. Gotta just check the wonders that were built by Egypt earlier. So Sancor went to Carthage. Sistine Chapel, I think that was already built by France. Notre Dame went to Carthage. Mongolia built that. Rome picked up... No, I think... Did Rome build the Parthenon, or did they capture that? I don't know. Statue of Zeus went to France. Mausoleum is in the hands of Carthage now. So Carthage just got a mausoleum-enhanced Golden Age. And Carthage got the Great Lighthouse, too. That's pretty nice. So Hannibal does have a good number of coastal cities. Yeah, well, let's, like we said, get to turn 175, and then we'll do a quick check. All right, so, okay. So GMP, Louis seems to be running away with the GMP right now. Interesting. I wonder how much of that is culture. Production. Food, like I said, it's pretty close. Power, okay, so Kublai and Caesar are ahead in power by a good bit. Culture, let's look at their research rates. Hannibal 550, Caesar 279. Yeah, he needs help with research. So Kublai and Caesar are ahead in power, but they are weaker in research. And Kublai 500. So Kublai and Hannibal are both at about the same tech rate, and they're also both at about the same power, whereas Caesar and Kublai are also in similar positions. As far as their spots on the tech tree, let's see. So Hannibal's going for liberalism, and Louis also going for liberalism. But Hannibal would win the same turn tie if that happened. Going for liberalism. Already, economics is already gone. So early Renaissance for Hannibal, and Louis similar. Louis slightly further behind. So Hannibal has the tech lead. Like Louis is missing guilds at the moment. Caesar does have guilds in banking, but is missing the whole top of the tree. And of course he doesn't have printing press or education. And then Kublai, okay, Kublai's a little bit ahead of Caesar. Kublai's also on a rifling beeline, so that's kind of interesting. And Kublai already has gunpowder. Caesar is last in tech for the moment. And you guys said to refresh the map. So as far as 3 legendary cities, the AI does not do any kind of planning for that. His legendary cities would just be his oldest cities. It would just be Paris, Orléans, and Lyon, these 3 cities, just because they're his oldest cities. Yeah, his does have a lot of culture in these cities. But I don't think he's especially close right now. Yeah, see, I mean, he's still a long, long way from a cultural victory. His third city is Reims. It's kind of interesting. Where is that one? Oh, over here. I mean, he said 3,000 culture. Let's wait until we get a little bit further along in the game. So, oh, it looks like Louis has skipped ahead by a turn of Hannibal, so it looks like Louis will claim that. By the way, look at this territory from Louis. Such a bizarre shape. But it looks like he's going to get the Liberalism Prize by 1 turn. Close race. I would guess he took nationalism. Yeah, he took nationalism. The classic play. Okay, Caesar has a huge army down here. Caesar has 90 units in Memphis. And he and Kublai are continuing to build more units. I wonder, would they try to attack each other? Because Kublai will only fight Caesar. Well, we shall find out. No, Kublai's not building units right now. He's back over to infrastructure. Hannibal, same. Louis, same. Rome, same. Nobody seems to be gearing up for war. From what at least my best guess is. Yeah, free religion would be interesting. Louis did not swap to free religion. He had liberalism, so he had the chance. And whoever picked up Shwedagon Paya did not do so either, although I think that's also Louis. Yeah, Louis had the option because he had Shwedagon Paya, and he did not choose to go to free religion. So for the time being, the game's kind of quiet. Louis did just go free religion. Let's see. So Louis is now down to pleased with Hannibal. And Kublai is now only pleased with Louis. He's no longer friendly. Okay. Hannibal's still out of any combat. So for the time being, we'll just continue to chill. Caesar is probably the most likely one to start a war. He's just very aggressive. If he did, it would be against Louis. There's a lot of built-up dislike there. I'm sure he doesn't like the fact that his army is stuck down here. Does he have open borders with Louis? He does. All right, so he can get this army back if he wants to. Could return it back home. Yeah, we still have some very large armies. Caesar's main stack is about 100 units. Kublai's got like 70 in a stack somewhere. But for the time being, it's just kind of quiet. Hannibal avoiding wars is a good move. I agree. Hey, Sydney. He's just decided he wanted to come in here and say hello, apparently. Here. Let me put the... Can you guys see him? Hey, buddy. You being a good boy? When we're done with this, I'll take you outside after we're done with the stream, okay? Okay. Yeah, he's a good dog. Don't worry, I'm not going to pick you up the way your mom does. He usually spends most of his time either on the couch or on the bed during the day, but like he sometimes gets up and just wanders. You want to lay down here on your little bed here? You want to lay down here? You can hang out here if you want. He kind of does his own thing. This is actually not that early. Well, I wouldn't say it's that early. I would say it's a huge beeline. I mean, he doesn't really have anything else. He's skipped every other Renaissance tech to go for rifling. But that could work out really well. If he gets into a war and no one else has rifles. So that was a long golden age for Hannibal. Surprisingly quiet point in the game right now with all these aggressive leaders. It's fun though because the game is really open for any of the 4 leaders to win at this point. Like we kind of got rid of them, got rid of the weaker leaders, and now we're back to a pretty wide open game. And look at that, Kublai getting to rifles quite early. So it's a cloudy day outside here, to answer your question, Zandi, but it's comfortable. It's fairly warm for this time of year. No. I wouldn't have expected to have such a long period of peace here, but it has happened. Kublai now in chemistry. He's like, no, rifles aren't enough. I want to build grenadiers too. Next turn, next turn, next turn. Yeah. Louis looks like he finished Taj Mahal though, so he'll get the free golden age. That will help him along. Yeah, and there's the rifles coming out from Kublai, so he'll get a big jump up on the power bar graph from that. Hasn't manifested itself yet, but it will. Let's see if the diplomacy has shifted at all. Not really. Still pretty similar to what we saw before. Everybody seems mostly pretty happy with each other. I think it's partly because everybody got big mutual military struggle bonuses as a result of that shared war against Ramses. Hannibal changes his civics but did not go free religion or anything like that. Big civic swap. And Louis finishes another shrine. This poor city is getting crushed by French culture. Louis just has a lot of culture. A lot of that's coming from Sistine Chapel. Louis is probably going to get Statue of Liberty as well. Unless Hannibal. Well, Hannibal will have a shot to build it. Boy, a surprisingly quiet game, right? A lot of action earlier, but now it's like just everybody's building. Everybody seems content to build for the moment. At least it means we can advance through the turns faster. We don't have to do a 5-hour game like the wildcard game. So if you're Kublai and you rush to rifles, that doesn't really do anything unless you plan on fighting someone. Like, that's the whole reason you rush to rifling tech, is to attack someone. Who is Caesar most likely to attack? Still, well, I was going to say it was Louis, but now they're actually up to pleased. A lot of pleased faces in this game right now. Caesar declares it pleased, Kublai declares it pleased, Louis, I believe, declares war at pleased as well. I know Hannibal does not, so Hannibal will not attack. I believe Louis will also declare at pleased, although I'm less certain about him. I know that Kublai and Caesar will. I don't think anyone's in a position to die right now. Everybody seems like they're in pretty solid shape. Caesar's probably in the worst shape if it stays peaceful because he is the furthest behind in research. And that's turn 200. So let's go ahead and see everybody's research rate. Hannibal 650, Caesar, oh wow. Caesar, okay, Caesar's research rate went up a lot. He's up to 1,000. Kublai 644, Louis 886. Boy, Caesar's actually producing the most speakers right now. And just like that, the game got interesting again. Kublai has declared on Louis. Alright, well, that should be fun to watch. Kublai has rifling. Louis does not have rifling. Yeah, power graphs. So Kublai, let's see if he can put rifling to good use. Where's he attacking from? He's got to have a stack somewhere. Here. No. Wait, what? Doesn't he have like a big stack pouring across the border somewhere? I would have thought that he did if he was planning on attacking. Well, interesting. Huh. Well, oh, maybe here it is. Here it is. I knew he had a big stack somewhere. Okay, he has 66 units in this stack. Yeah, now the question is if someone else pounces in this war, right? Does someone else, because like he could bribe Caesar. Caesar could be brought into this war. Hannibal, maybe. I know Caesar. Look at that though. That earlier war hatred has disappeared between them. We'll see. Or maybe Kublai can just do this on his own. So we'll watch his main stack. It is rifles against medieval units, which is a recipe for success. Most cultured. Alright, here's the main force. And there it is. Now, that initial strike didn't work for Caesar because he instantly lost a city, but don't be fooled. This is a disaster for Louis. He has his two neighbors both on top of him. And Caesar can probably reclaim. See, this is Caesar's big stack, 111 units. Should be able to recapture that city. Let's see. Nope. Caesar turned around and is walking towards Alexandria because AI reasons. Well, the game got interesting, that's for sure. Even the Observer Civ's getting in on it, researching it, bronze working and everything. Yeah, so Caesar's main stack is down here. Amusingly, Caesar's main stack is down here. We look at their power real quickly. Yeah, so far Caesar just lost units, but I guess Louis lost some too. How about Louis? Is he going for... No, Louis is not going for rifling yet. How about Caesar? How close is he? Let's just see, because that's the key tech right now. So Louis doesn't have race... He does have military tradition, but he's missing gunpowder, so that means no cuirassier and no replaceable parts or rifling. Caesar just is behind in tech in general. He does have gunpowder, so if he's smart, he'll go for military tradition and then rifling. Currently on incorporation for some reason. Louis is beelining communism. Yeah, I don't know about that. But the big stacks appear to be here and here. Like this is Caesar's big stack. This is Kublai's big stack. Caesar. Oh yeah, did he lose out on? He probably lost quite a bit from losing the Jewish shrine. Yeah, he lost a fair bit there. He's down to 800. That also might be because he stopped building research. No, I was going to say because he stopped building research, but he is still building research. Huh. Hannibal's researching rifling, but he doesn't seem to be part of this round of this round of fighting. So Caesar took out all the defenses of this city, and he launched some kind of attack. Not enough to capture it, though. Yeah, Caesar was probably bought in by Kublai. So Alexandria was captured. Again, kind of a confusing place for Caesar to be attacking from. He doesn't seem to be building another big stack up here. Maybe Caesar is just pushing for rifling. Sometimes the AI is smart enough to do... Yeah, it looks like Caesar is just going to continue building research until he can hit rifling. Sometimes the AI is smart enough to do that. So that's one city down. And then the other, although Caesar just traded cities because he lost Memphis. If he's smart, he'll go back down there and recapture it. Unfortunately for Caesar, it's going to be hard for him to hold what he takes because of the cultural situation. Kublai is in a better position to take and hold territory from this war. Yeah, that city's going to fall soon. Yeah, Louis is going for communism, that's right. He did just revolt, so he wasted a turn in anarchy too. Waiting to see if this city gets captured. Boy, that's, yeah, so it did. So that's two pretty significant cities lost. Alright, and Caesar's big stack has indeed turned around and is heading back for Memphis again. Must want those wonders. Although, like I said, Caesar, this is not great for him because he's going to lose, he's so squeezed on culture in these spots. But it's much worse for Louis, who's losing cities and is starting to drop in score. Also, Caesar's about to hit rifling, so, yeah. Anyway, I know some of you guys requested giving the observer civ education, so we can do that to get the Renaissance music. That's totally fine. I'm just looking for it right now. Here it is. Yeah, and Louis' his Egyptian cities are now cut off. And remember, while he's at war, he can't move through Mongolian borders. I guess he could move around through Hannibal's borders. I guess that's a way to get over there. Yeah, he does have open borders, but these are effectively cut off and are just kind of dead weight for anyone who wants them. Yeah, those knights are just continuing onwards. He should not have any difficulty retaking that city. Kublai is now moving on this city, and another holy city. Let's see, so Caesar's 2 turns from rifling. I'm curious if he swaps his builds over to military builds once he hits rifling, or if he just continues building research. Alright, so Memphis retaken by Caesar. Again, these cities are pretty crushed culturally by the Mongols, but maybe with 2 cities he'll generate enough culture to hold this territory. Maybe. Thebes is a really nice city, so certainly would be nice for whoever gets that one. And it does look like it's starting to fall apart for Kublai now. Or not Kublai, for Louis, excuse me. Okay, so is Caesar going to swap all these cities from research over to rifles? Let's see. Looks like, yeah, pretty much. I see rifle, bank, Wall Street, rifles, yeah, pretty much. He knows what's up. Some random little force over there. So Louis really needs to get to rifling tech right now, but he is still a long way away. He also needs gunpowder too. Well, so much for Rems. There goes that city. And just like that, Louis is falling apart pretty fast. It looks like Kublai is going to get more out of this war than Rome, from what I can see. We do have a little race. Oh, and Caesar's turned around with some of his force and is heading back to the northwest, or at least some of these units are. He's healing others. Seems like past performance matters more in the playoffs. Maybe. There's always a lot of different factors that go into every game, right? This game, I mean, like, this game could have turned in other ways, though. Like, we could have seen these wars proceed in a completely different fashion, right? We could have seen Kublai declare on Caesar and then Louis pile in. Like, that wasn't impossible. It was within the realm of possibility. That said, remember, Caesar didn't have a great year in the previous year either. This is the first year he's had a really... well, he did make the playoffs last year, or the last season, so... I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to say at this point. All I just see is like Mongolian stacks moving forward on France. A lot of Mongolian stacks. This was when we said earlier, Kublai, by going for early rifling, he needed to go to war to make this count, and that is exactly what he's doing. Yeah, airships will save Louis. It's like, gotta get that free great scientist at physics. Much more important than teching to units that can stop me from dying. Oh, okay, so here's Caesar's army. Apparently Caesar, I missed where his army went. He sent it up through Hannibal's territory, and now his army is right here. So he's going to get Thebes and the treasure trove of wonders that are in there, unless something really weird happens. So Caesar has picked up some very nice cities down here. Like, for all that Kublai is probably making out more... Oh, wow, Kublai just took Paris. I missed that. Never mind, Kublai picked up the wonders that were in Paris. So they're both doing really well. I guess we'll have to go through after the war's over and see who got what. But, like, Mongolia picked up the Spiral Minaret. Rome picked up the Sistine Chapel. Maybe Rome goes for a cultural victory, remember? It's probably the most... Great Library is not that significant at this stage. Chichen Itza, the Colossus. Apostolic Palace also went over to Mongolia's control, so no more AP shenanigans. Because Louis doesn't control the wonder anymore. So Rome's going to have like a little colony down here. Enough cities to be interesting. Poor Alexandria. Struggling to hold its borders. At least Memphis has some territory. Thebes has a little bit. It's going to create some border tension between Rome and Hannibal, between Rome and Carthage. Rome, it's weird that Rome is not attacking from the north at all. You would think Rome would be capturing this city, but no, not so much. Rome and Mongolia seem to be on pretty good terms right now, but that doesn't mean, it's not to say they'll never go to war with each other. Alright, so this whole corner of the map is now the French are gone from. You think Caesar's building a northern stack? He probably is putting one together somewhere. Although right now he seems to be amassing security bureaus. Yeah, he's probably clumping units together somewhere. In the meantime, though, Kublai Khan's going to continue pushing forward. Note that Louis is just now getting gunpowder. I mean, why would France want gunpowder? It's not like they have a unique unit that gets unlocked at that tech. These cannons are pretty nice for Kublai. I will say that having Sistine Chapel will make it easier for Rome to hold on to those cities down in the southeast corner, because Sistine will generate a lot of culture. That was a mistake by Kublai, because now the stage is set for Rome to clean up everything else. They made peace in exchange for Orleans in French, but Rome has cavalry now, because Rome just finished military tradition, so Rome is probably going to run over all of the other cities, and we're going to have a very weird shaped border when this is over. No, that wasn't AP cheese. The Apostolic Palace isn't. It was a peace treaty in exchange for this city, Orleans. Coco Caesar, roll that fool. I mean, it's calves against longbows and maces. I guess Louis does have cuirassier because he did just finish gunpowder, and he's like belatedly trying to get to rifling, but he's still a ways away. And he does have musketeers now. Caesar has some giant stacks that are making their way up there. Oh, he's got a big stack here. I see Roman units everywhere over here. So they're on the way. Tours looks to be the next target. Caesar does have some incentive to move quickly here, though, so that he can get these cities before rifles show up on the scene. Because Louis is slowly heading there. Kublai is more or less secured. Well, he's probably secured himself a spot in the final. I wouldn't say anyone has quite guaranteed it yet, because we will presumably have 3 civs left after this is done, and you could see a 2v1 scenario in any direction. Are you back again, Sydney? Come here. Come lay down here on your little bed. We have a doggy bed set up underneath the computer table, so he can lay down in here, and he sometimes comes in here and sleeps. Yeah. Say hi to everybody on stream again. Yeah. You feeling feisty? Okay. Good boy. Come in. Relax down here. Yeah, he just randomly comes in from time to time. Let me make sure. Okay, does that look good? Yeah. Is Sydney going to predict the winner of the championship match? I wish. Maybe I can, that would be really funny. Maybe I can do some kind of a thing where I set out the 6 names and have him pick one. That would be great. Have Sydney pick the winner of the championship game. So, yeah, Caesar's not exactly speeding this along too fast. Louis, 8 turns to rifling. Caesar, I know you got a lot of units. Like, if we look at the power graph, like, this should not take that long when Caesar's power is here and Louis is here. Shouldn't be that difficult. Well, sooner or later his units will make it. And then it is longbow against cav, which is not fun for the longbows. Alright, it looks like that's... Alright, 25 units, that should be enough to break through there. Oh, and Caesar got the Statue of Liberty, wow. Out of all the people to get it, I did not think he would land it. That's a very nice wonder for him, especially for someone who has Sistine Chapel. That's just super nice. Get that free culture from all those specialists. But yeah, Caesar's still taking his time here. Like, he turned around to... Alright, so here's his big stack. He's in the process of joining these together. He has a 41 unit group and a 25 unit group on this tile. So he's just merging everything together. Again, his attack coming from the south is really weird. He has an oddly shaped empire down here, a very oddly shaped empire. But he'll run a gazillion specialists, and via Sistine, that'll pop his borders. Louis like, I'm almost there. 7 more turns to rifling. Don't mind me. Let me build this salon while I'm in the process. Caesar also went free religion. Pretty noteworthy. Let's see how that changed up the diplomacy. He's cautious with Kublai. Pleased with Hannibal. Kublai is pleased with everyone except Hannibal, who he's friendly with. Hannibal still will not declare war on anyone, so we're mostly content. We're mostly safe just to watch Caesar and Kublai. So it has taken a while, but Caesar is finally got his big stack up next to this city. 6 cabs, 5 trebs. Should be able to make relatively short work of that. Got 20% of the defenses down. Also, at this point, it's not like there's much production capacity left for Louis. Even if he gets to rifling, that in and of itself doesn't mean that much. For some reason, Kublai has not researched military tradition, so he has knights and grenadiers, but only, rifles and grenadiers, but no calves, only knights. Hannibal just wants to tech to space, yeah, pretty much. He's just hoping everyone will leave him alone here. Alright, so Leon is finally going to get attacked this turn. Caesar was very cautious, he took out all the defenses. And now his stack with 85 units in it can finally capture this city. So, that was expected. Might be a little tricky for Caesar because this city does have, if you look, it has Mongolian cities on every single side though. Maybe he can get enough culture to hold that city, but I tend to doubt it. Awful lot of Mongolian culture in the area. Gave the game. Kublai Khan gives this game the thumbs up. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. So Hannibal builds the Kremlin. Again, a great wonder for the human, not so great for the AI. Louis wastes another term revolting to state property, which is pointless at this point. And so the Romans slowly continue marching on. They do have cannons now, so that'll make much shorter work of the defenses. Just continue advancing turns as they roll on, one to the next. This city has almost been killed by just random wandering cavs walking up and attacking, and not a stack. Similarly over here, there's cavs just running around killing units on their own. Yeah, there's almost nothing left in this city. No, not Eitzhuitzotl. Must be an Aztec name. Not him! He was the best of the best. So that city fell. And Rome founds a corporation. Interesting. The production-based one. This city is going to be under a lot of cultural pressure when it comes out of resistance. As are these. Poor Caesar is struggling to get a lot out of some of these conquests due to culture. Alright, 2 cities to go. Yeah, it's true. Caesar was fighting on several different fronts. Yeah, that city probably will go over to Kublai. Just going to go on a limb and say this is probably going to become a Mongolian city. This one actually is going to be able to hold out. There's actually no Mongolian culture on this tile. It might take a little while until Caesar can get his first ring, but he should get the first ring tiles here eventually. Similarly, Thebes should also get the first ring eventually. I don't think it'll ever get the second ring, but it should be able to hold the first ring. Get those 4 cities there. Poor Caesar, he really should have attacked from the north. He would have gotten more out of this war if he'd done that. Oh well, he still made out well in this war. And this stack doesn't have too much further to go. So we'll have to check once this is over to see where everyone stands from like a research perspective. There's also been a naval war going on during this period too. I see this caravel is all beat up, and Caesar's had some ironclads taking out the defenses and 1 frigate over there. Yeah, Kublai's laying down railroads so Caesar can move faster, indeed. It's always nice when the naval units can help out by taking out some of the cultural defenses. Of course, 10 cannons wouldn't have any trouble with that anyway. 25 rifles, 15 cavs, 10 cannons. That's pretty formidable. Alright, so there goes Avignon, and now Chartres is the only city left. This poor city. Alright, 1 city to go. It's like, Caesar has signed peace. No, he has not signed peace. I think he's in the process of just gathering his units together. The city... Well, Louis did get to rifling, to his credit. Little too late to matter, though. His meltdown was pretty extreme in this game, right? Like, Louis was... He was leading in score, he was in pretty good shape. But that 2v1, man, just cut him apart. Yes, come on. Come on, Roman Cavs, you can do this. Alright, maybe 1 more turn. 2 more. Okay, that's a lot of Cavs. Let's just spread them out on every tile to make the picture look better. There we go. So yeah, that is another kill for Caesar. That does give him 5, as Smosism just put in the chat. All right. So, and then there were 3. Okay, so let me write that in. Turn 246. So Louis eliminated. Here's Louis. Turn 246. And then mark in the kill for Caesar. 5 now on the season. 3 in the opening round game, 2 in this game. Almost caught Stalin at 6. This might get determined in the championship, who has the most kills. Yeah, so, yep, it is, right? Antisocial, right? It really was an impressive play. Beelining industrial tech to kill someone who is ahead in land, but was lagging in actual tech. Or was lagging in military tech. All right, well, let's get to turn 250, because usually the AI needs like a turn or two to get out of war mode and go from there. Oh, look at this. They're both on assembly line. That's pretty cool. We should refresh the map. We only changed the music a short time ago, so I don't think we're going to change the music right now. All right, so look at this. Caesar's only cautious with Kublai. Only cautious. Kublai's pleased with both. So Caesar and Kublai can both attack anyone. Caesar's only cautious, in part because of spying idiocy. And Hannibal still will not declare war on anyone. Everyone has rifling, it's true. Well, rifling won't change anything. We're already in the Renaissance era music. Interesting. So Kublai has more, I think Kublai has more territory. We should count up the cities and see who has more. Just to do a quick count. All right, Caesar, 1, 2, 3, although that's not much of a city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So Caesar has about 20 cities. Kublai, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so Caesar does have more territory, or more cities. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like Kublai has more. I think Kublai has more land, but Caesar has more cities. Yeah, they're pretty close on land. Look, oh, here's the difference. Caesar's 41% pop, Kublai is at 32%. So Caesar's a lot more population, but Kublai has more territory. Well, we're almost to turn 250, so we'll just check out that stuff when we hit turn 250. So this is the reason why I won't say Kublai has guaranteed himself a pass into the championship game yet, because if Caesar attacks him, you know, Caesar could potentially knock him out of that second place spot, or vice versa. Kublai could also knock Caesar out of that second place spot. And there's also Hannibal still lurking here as a potential force. Heck, I think Hannibal's ahead in tech. It's not impossible for him to win. Yeah, so I hear what you guys are saying. As I mentioned, we wanted to get to turn 250, a nice even date, where we can look at some of this stuff. All right, so turn 250, here's a GMP bar graph. It's pretty close. Kublai is actually trailing, interestingly enough, probably because Caesar has Statue of Liberty. Manufacturing, Caesar seems to be the leader there. Food, it's relatively close, but Caesar's the lead. Power, again, relatively close, but Caesar's ahead. Hannibal's trailing. Culture, it's pretty even. Look at Louis' culture graph as he loses stuff. Espionage, yeah. All right, research rate, easy to check with 3. Hannibal, 1,600. Caesar 1,700, so they're about the same. Okay, Kublai is behind in research rate, and that could be an issue. Now, there's a difference between beaker rate and where they actually are on the tree. Hannibal, pretty clearly, I think, is ahead on the tree. He's researching rocketry. He has most of the... He's like halfway through the industrial age, I'd say. He does not have assembly line, although he does have combustion. Caesar does have combustion, does have assembly line, does not have rocketry, going for fascism. I'd say roughly comparable with Hannibal, maybe a little bit behind. Wait, do Caesar and Kublai have the identical techs? They have literally the identical techs right now. Huh. But Caesar's researching faster. That's crazy. There's a Kublai Khan city in the middle of the map next to Hannibal's border. I don't know which one. Oh, this one here? I think this is the one you mean. Yep, just kind of sitting there on the border. This city is either revolting or starving down, one of the two. So Caesar and Kublai both just got assembly line, and it looks like they're upgrading their units to infantry right now. And Kublai just revolted to, yeah. He went to free religion as well, so everybody's free religion now. All three leaders. Doesn't seem to have affected the diplomacy. Still basically where it was before. You vote. Apparently there was an AP vote, because there's the you voted against us. Your spy was caught causing trouble. If they screw around enough with the spies, it might cause Hannibal to drop out of please status with both of them. Of course, if the game ended the way it is right now, that would be pretty awesome for me. Like Caesar first, Kublai second. That's what I have. I'm not confident that it's going to end up that way, though. So here's another place where Caesar's organized trade is nice. It means he can knock out these factories really fast. Granted, all infrastructure is relatively cheap for the AI on Deity. Caesar crammed in a little city right there. So why did he go, why is biology so slow for him? Running 100% gold for upgrades. Pretty standard. Human players do this, the AI does it too. Caesar's tech rate will improve as soon as he's done with his round of upgrades. Yeah, like that, like so. This poor city, starving down pretty frantically. Look at that oil right on the border. Just check where the oil situation. Everyone should be fine because they're so large. Yeah, a lot of sources for Kublai, a lot of sources for Caesar. Nobody's going to be oil deprived, so good to know. So we'll see. Everybody is pretty happy with one another. It's not everybody is like everyone is pleased or better with each other. Granted, Caesar and Kublai can both declare it pleased, but it's not. I mean, we could be in for a fairly long period of peace here because these leaders are all on pretty good terms with each other. Now watch, I'll be proven wrong, and defensive pacts can do screwy stuff too. If someone gets on the wrong end of a defensive pact, that could cause some craziness. So I would say Caesar is definitely the favorite right now. I wouldn't say he has this sealed up yet. He could get 2v1'd by the other leaders. It's not impossible. I would love it if Caesar rode this out to a space win, though, with Kublai in second. Looks like he tossed down a city right here on the border, too, just to be a dick. Does the citizen specialist get Sistine culture? Yes, it does. Any specialist gets the Sistine culture. It's +2 per specialist, no matter what specialist that is. Now Hannibal has assembly line as well. So Hannibal seems to be a little bit further behind in tech. If you want to see just real quick where they're teching, he's 1,300 or 1,400. Caesar's at 900, but so he dropped off a fair bit. I wonder if I think he's still doing upgrades. I think that's why his teching dropped off a bit. Well, we'll see. Let's see. I was going to check power. That's right. Yep, still pretty close race in terms of power. Nobody's run away from anyone else yet. Yeah, that city of Lyon was producing a lot of culture because it was running. It had no tiles to work. All it could do was work specialists. So all those Sistine Chapel specialists were pumping out a lot of culture. This tile is actually almost flipped, amusingly enough, which would actually provide food for the city. And remember how I said Alexandria would start to control its first string tiles? It has gotten control of most of them. It's about to get these two as well. And then these cities can stop starving down. Apparently medicine is very popular right now. All three leaders were researching medicine at the same time. And Caesar built the Pentagon. That's a nice wonder for the AI. Free promotions are always good. or experience towards promotions. It doesn't directly give promotions. That should be clear. For the moment, everybody seems to be on pretty good terms. Caesar is building an awful lot of units, though. If he would build more research, he'd be in better shape in the tech race. But he seems content to keep churning out more units. Yeah, Rome wants a corporation-driven economy. Turning out a lot of corporations. That Golden Age will help Hannibal. Hannibal would lose if it came to a war, but if it's just a pure tech race, he's got a decent shot of winning it. Yeah, Caesar seems to be building a lot of non-research, like compared to Kublai, 1600. Yeah, he is sitting there at 900 beakers. Starting to fall behind a little bit in tech here. Is Julius plotting war? Good question. Doesn't look like it, because he's willing to countenance it, so it doesn't look like it. The Roman Empire looks manta ray shaped. Yeah, agreed. Maybe he's getting ready to go for a cultural win. Yeah, because like Hannibal is mostly just building research in his cities, whereas Caesar is still building infrastructure and units. Better safe than sorry, right? More units, more units. Well, we'll see. I mean, if there's a war, it'll get interesting in a hurry. Orleans has starved all the way down to size 1. And actually the cultural percentage has gone down there. Looks like that city is just trapped at size 1. How do you build science? I would just assume that like more funding is given for science pursuits or something. So if we look at the tech comparison, I think Hannibal is still leading the race. Like if we put it right here, he has rocketry and radio, as well as everything to the left of this column. Yeah, Caesar is a little bit behind there, and Kublay's how does Kublai compare to Hannibal? Hannibal is slightly ahead compared to Kublai. Yeah, Kublai has these two techs, or Hannibal has those two techs, and flight. So Hannibal is leading the race in just terms of research. And he's also on industrialism right now, the tech that unlocks tanks. Caesar is still building a lot of military. Look at that. He just continues cranking out military at this point. If we look at the numbers here, he has 364 units. Hannibal has 128. Kublai has 205. Yeah, Caesar's just building such a large military. I think that's part of the reason why his teching is a little bit slower, because he's holding. Not only is he not building research, he's paying for all these units. I mean, I wonder if he's planning on using them. That's kind of the obvious question. He's still pleased with both of those other leaders, but man, he is just cranking out the units. Yeah, Caesar's America. He could go to space, but wants a massive military instead. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is almost starting to look like Hannibal might be in a good position if no one attacks him. Just sit there and attack while everybody else keeps fighting. Of course, if he gets attacked, then he will die, but that's the risk he runs. I mean, we keep advancing more turns. So, like, right now, Kublai is building research in, like, every city. Yeah, so he's up to 1,900 beakers. Hannibal's at 2,300. Caesar's only at 1,000. Like, that's a problem if he's serious about getting out of here via space. He's not going to win if that happens. So part of that was that Hannibal was in a golden age, I think I should point out. But Hannibal's still out researching Caesar right now. Caesar's he's relatively safe to make the championship, but I don't think it's guaranteed that he wins this game. And look, he's just still cranking out more units. In like every city, still pumping out more units. Hannibal does have industrialism, so he could build tanks if he wanted to. I don't know. I still honestly have no idea if we'll even see. Yeah, because like there's the tank under construction. I have no idea if we'll see another war or not at this point. You would think that Caesar would stop relentlessly building units if he wasn't going to attack, but who really knows? Yeah, Diplo would be interesting too. Hannibal wins by diplomatic victory. That would throw everyone off in this game. Let's see. I don't think the relations are high enough for anyone to win diplomatic. You need to be like close to +10. Maybe Kublai would vote for him though. It's possible. I mean, +8's fairly high. Maybe if Hannibal builds it and it's Hannibal against Caesar, it could happen. I wouldn't rule that out completely. That would certainly be unusual. So, still quiet. Still waiting, still waiting. See if any more action's going to break out. I don't know why he has all these transports here. Where is he planning on heading? Gotta be safe. Just in case. Does Caesar have enough population to block? Yeah, good point. Caesar has enough population that he can block a UN vote, so it doesn't matter. That's a great point. Alright, and that just got interesting. Okay, Caesar declares on Hannibal. Well, we may be headed for a domination victory and a relatively early end to this game. 11 wars. Alright, so where's Caesar's big stack? We know he has one. This, like we said, this might not last much longer. I don't see where Caesar's big doom stack is, but he's got to have one, right? He wouldn't have attacked otherwise. Oh, I think this is it here. Yeah, 91 units on this tile. Why not Kublai? I don't know. We'll see. Also, Caesar is on industrialism, so Hannibal moved the stack forward. Will it still be alive at the end of this turn? It is declining in size. That did not go well for Hannibal. So, I mean, he can build the Eiffel Tower all he wants. Oh, this is a busy turn, Eiffel Tower too. Oh, apparently we hadn't refreshed the map since that little city of Thapsus was built. So I think Hannibal just had lost a ton of units on this tile. I could be wrong, but I do not think that went well. There's a smaller attacking up here, but and another big push up here as well. Yeah, this is going to end pretty soon. Caesar's going to crush this, and he's going to win by domination. We need to advance one more turn to see the results of that. And here comes the Roman battleships. Yep, so Prague. Caesar's like, I finally got my hands on Prague. Now, again, of course, this is not totally over, because you could see Kublai intervene in this war. But if he doesn't, it's not going to go well. Wait, Thebes? Where was Thebes taken? Oh, that was Hannibal who took that city. Okay, well, I don't think he's going to hold it very long. Good point, though. Thebes has the statue of Zeus, though, so it's a pretty significant city. I think Caesar will take this back. No trouble. Yeah, that's about what we were thinking. So yeah, especially once Caesar gets industrialism, he'll start cranking the tanks, and that probably will just about do it for Mr. Hannibal. Yep, as expected, that did not stay in Carthaginian hands very long. So the Punic War came back anyway. Oh, does Kublai have enough to block domination? That's a good question. I don't think he does. Hannibal actually gets to be Secretary General. So Kublai has 37%. Ooh, he might have enough, actually. He might have enough to block that. Good question. Good point. It'll be close. Very close. Good point. I wonder if we might see a UN stop the war vote, too. Also a possibility. Yeah, Kublai probably has enough to block domination. Probably. That's not to say Caesar couldn't go after him as well. Ulm looks doomed. Oh, that was the little city in the southern tundra that got taken out. Well, we're going to be in a state where only Caesar and Kublai are still alive, which means they will both definitely be going to the championship game. Again, barring some kind of crazy turnaround. I am very glad that I picked these two to be my... And now the Roman tanks are on the scene, so yeah. It's starting to get ugly now. Part of the reason why Caesar can attack so quickly is he has planes that are taking out the city defenses. What the? I love it when you see this. You're like, what? There's a fort on this tile, and that's why naval units can move through forts. But yes, it does look like there's a frigate just sitting on a pig. Make a couple nukes. Well, someone has to build the Manhattan Project in order to launch nukes. So that seems unlikely for the moment. He would have to build the Manhattan Project first, and it's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay, so yeah, we'll just watch and see where these attacks arrive. Looks like Leptis is the next focus. Oh, and Vienna. One of these two cities will probably be the next one to fall. Caesar's actually cutting them apart from two sides at once. Where's Elephantine? Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought that city had already been captured. Well, not too much left of Hannibal now. How many cities? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities left. When Leptis and Hadrumetum fall, it's going to open up a ton of culture in this part of the map. Yeah, look at how Vienna went from 60% defenses to 13%. I think some of that's planes. I think some of it's artillery. Offensive warfare just moves so much faster once you get to the end of the tech tree. Like 3 artillery pieces can take out the defenders so quickly. How about down here? All right, so down here is still moving and advancing, still healing. Excuse me. Well, there goes that city. How about Leptis? Yep. Well, that didn't take too long. 2 more cities down. Free speech, not a stop the war resolution. I probably would have voted for stop the war, although Caesar has enough population here that he can probably block anything he wants in the UN. He's over 50% population, so he can he can stop anything he doesn't want in the UN at this point. This is like in Master of Orion, when you get enough population to block the council vote, and you can just be as horrible to the other empires as you want to be, because you can vote anything you want in the Galactic Council. Similar idea. On the minimap, it looks like Rome has 2 jaws, like the top jaw and the bottom jaw, and they're just like snapping shut on Carthaginian territory. Carthago delanda est. Well, everybody apparently wanted free speech. So that means we, the Observer Civ, are also going to pick up free speech here. Yep. As the tanks ride on. So Kublai, I think, has fallen a little bit behind in tech now because he didn't have industrialism, which Caesar picked up a little while ago. So like there's multiple stacks advancing everywhere. 2 tank stacks there, more tank stacks here, another stack here at Kirkuane, another stack here at Utica, which just took out all the defenses. So we could see several more cities fall in the next turn or two. I think Carthage is actually going to be the last one standing. It's just like as the Carthaginian Empire crumbles from the outside to the center, trying to get all the cities in view in between turns. So Hippo, home of St. Augustus, or Augustine, not Augustus. Yeah, you need help, but the Observer Civ is not going to provide it. If anyone's curious about the bar graphs as far as power goes, it's about as one-sided as you'd think. GMP is closer, though. Production, food, and power. Financial trait, not enough for Hannibal. He was never able to get quite enough territory in this game. I don't think he played a bad game necessarily, but just wasn't quite able to bring it all together. Like he was piggybacking off of stronger civs for a lot of the time. Okay, I expect Hadromenon to fall either this turn or next turn, and then you're going to see all that culture disappear. Nope, held one more turn. There are a lot of units in that city. Of course, there's even more attacking. 74 units next to it. I think the 74 units will be enough. And then there's another 40 units down here. I'm trying to get both of those cities in view at the same time. Played an average Hannibal game. Yep, they both fell at the same time. So just about done now. Just Carthage and Kirkuane left. If you're curious, Caesar's now at 47% land area. He is almost up to 60% of world pop. It's too bad he can't vote himself the winner in the UN, like you used to be able to do before Beyond the Sword. I liked being able to get the backdoor domination win via the UN, but they took that out in Beyond the Sword. You have to have someone vote for you to win in the UN. Don't like that rule. If you have enough population to vote yourself the winner, you should be able to just vote yourself the winner. Alright, great, sure. Universal suffrage for everyone. Works for me. Kublai's just like, gonna sit here and build my spaceship. Just gonna build my spaceship. Diplomation, yeah. Running vanilla? No, there's no reason. Beyond the Sword, like, there's some things that are silly, but overall, it is definitely an improvement over the base game. There is not a reason to go back and play the non-expansion version of Civ4, where Mansa is even stronger. Alright, so only one city left. Carthage will probably survive, and I would say probably guess turn 298 maybe would be the turn it goes down. Just guessing here. The jaws are snapping shut. This music is always always funny to hear the music that doesn't fit. Alright, no, never mind. Caesar didn't... Oh, he congregated all his units, so it looks like Carthage is going to survive a little bit longer than I thought. Pre-patch vanilla. Why would we want to do pre-patch vanilla Civ4? A game that's like, do we want to go back and experience all the bugs that got fixed in patches? Anyway. Alright. Does Hannibal live to see turn 300? I would guess no, but I'm not certain. Maybe he survives one more turn. Looks like he made it. Yep, he's going to make it to turn 300 on the dot. Because there's like, I don't know, well over 100 units on this tile. 189 units. 189 against about 7. I think Caesar's got this. Yeah, the strength 18 Cossacks were awesome. That was very overpowered. It was fun, though. I have a report from running around with Kathy and just murdering everyone with Cossacks from one of the earlier pre-expansion versions. It was fun. All right, so we say goodbye to Hannibal. We know who our 2 leaders are going to be in the championship, in Caesar and Kublai, but we still don't know for sure who's going to finish first in this game. Probably Caesar, but not guaranteed. Anyway, so let's give him another kill. So Hannibal's eliminated. Caesar equals Stalin with 6 kills. Boy, this year's competition for the Golden Spear, the person who gets the most kills, very close. 2 leaders with 6 kills. Going to be fun to watch which one of them can claim that. If either one can get a kill in the championship, you'd think one of them likely would. 6 kills for Caesar, 6 kills for Stalin. Caesar has 3 of the 4 kills in this match. Alright. So now the big question is, where are the 2 of them on the tech tree? Let's get Caesar out of war-making mode for a turn, advance a couple turns, get Caesar out of wartime production, see what he decides to do. Because if he sets every city to research, there is no possible chance that Kublai can keep up with him in research. If not, who knows? Alright, everybody gets a free trade route. He appears to still be building military units. As far as the diplomacy goes, it's pretty simple. There's only 2 leaders. They're each pleased with each other. Although Caesar's only a +1 pleased due to close borders and spy shenanigans. How many wars are we on right now? 11. 11 wars right now. Fairly low. I thought we'd see a little bit higher. Alright, Kublai, a well-timed golden age from him. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Caesar, 1,800 beakers, Kublai, 2,200. So Kublai's a little bit ahead there. Of course, he did just trigger a golden age. Alright, so here's where Caesar needs. Caesar is still missing a fair number of techs. Alright, he has everything to the left of fission. How about Kublai? Yeah, Kublai is way ahead in the space race. He is, let's see, how many techs ahead? 1, 2, 3. He's about 3 techs ahead, and that's a lot to make up. Caesar definitely needs to go, if he wants to win by space, he's going to need to go all research in every city. Or he could declare war and try to win by domination, which I think he would win pretty quickly. Those are Caesar's options right now. We'll see what he's thinking. He appears to still be building tanks in every city, so he looks like he's looking more towards domination. Yeah, he is still pumping out units. But if he doesn't do anything, he's going to probably is going to lose the space race if he doesn't do anything. He's at 54%, so clearly he doesn't have enough land to win without taking some from Kublai. You know what he's not missing? A giant army to take the last 3% of the land he needs. True. We don't know for sure that he's going to do that, though. Three Gorges Dam is nice. Provides power to every city on the continent, which is every city. Yeah, he is relentlessly building units. I have to think he's planning to go to war. Let's see if he's plotting war. Just out of curiosity. Couldn't betray our close friends. I don't know if I'm checking this the correct way. I mean, he's certainly willing to. I can't tell if he's plotting it, though. I Meanwhile, Kublai is building research in most of his cities. He could go cultural, potentially. 50. No, I don't think he would. He's still a good way away. Like, he's like 7 or 8% short. That's not enough. Going 100% culture probably wouldn't pick up that many tiles. I don't think that the going culture would get him close enough. It's a good thought, but I think he's just a little bit too far short. Maybe, though. I don't think he's going to go 100% culture, knowing Caesar and the way he prefers to do this, the way he generally approaches the game. Yeah, this is the second game with Caesar and Kublai as the top two. You're right. We've seen this before in last year's AI Survivor. Otherwise, you'll see we have enough on our hands and you won't be able to click, okay, so he's not. Yeah, I never did as much with like the whole we have enough on our hands, blah, blah, blah stuff. That wasn't something that kind of came along after I had stopped playing a lot of single player in Civ4. So I'm not as familiar with like that whole process. Yeah, we'll see. But like Kublai could very well win by space here. If Caesar does not attack. If Caesar doesn't attack, I think Kublai does win by space. Unless Caesar all of a sudden goes 100%, I'm building research in every city, which he has not shown an inclination to do just yet. Perhaps, though. Caesar will run out of stuff to build eventually. He's also got a huge naval stack over here for no apparent reason. Kublai's golden age has ended. It's quiet. Too quiet. Yeah, building a settler. Definitely time to get more settlers out right now. Every time it takes a long time to process these turns, I think that someone's declaring war, because usually when the globes takes a long time to spin, it means there's lots of units moving around. And then I'm typically disappointed when there's no war, and it's like, oh, there was not actually a war after all. So Caesar's at 2,600 beakers right now. Kublai, okay, so Caesar has pulled ahead in research, 2,600 to 1,700. So he should be closing the gap a little bit, but he's far enough behind that it might just be too little too late. All right, he is still missing fission, which is a required tech to launch. Kublai has robotics, laser, and what else? And mass media. So Kublai, despite making fewer beakers, is still ahead by a good margin right now. That said, all of the Carthaginian cities are now out of resistance, and that definitely helps Caesar. He's at 57% land area and 63% pop. So he's close, and I know a lot of people pick domination. Like, he would really only have to take a couple cities in order to trigger that. Building the library. I mean, I guess he might as well. Yeah, needs about 3 to 4 cities. That feels right. Or like 3 to 4 cities worth of territory. He'd probably have to capture more than that in order to make headway against the mature cultural borders. All right, so here's the Secretary General election. Caesar will probably win because he's got more pop. That one city did eventually either get gifted over or revolted over to Kublai. So we march onwards. For the time being, it's quiet, but there's no guarantee that's going to last. Roman Empire is a question mark, or a cartoon snake. Yeah, a lot of tanks wandering around, but as long as you can see Roman units, so that gives you the population. Caesar's 539, Kublai 311. As long as you see tanks, like units in each other's territory, that means they didn't go to war with each other. Not yet, at least. This city is slowly reclaiming tiles. Oh, what was that? Just got a sound effect of tanks moving. Like, I don't know if they went to war or if it's just units moving around. Sure looks like... I don't know. I guess it's just units moving around. Yeah. It looked like Kublai was attacked. It looked like Julius paradropped some units in, and then Kublai attacked those units, but no, they were just moving on top of each other on the same tile. Okay, and now Caesar's gone over to a lot of building research, so his tech rate should have just exploded. 2,500. No, not really. 2,500 to 2,000. He's only on 60% research. I guess he's doing unit upgrades. He's probably... Oh, you know what? I think he just got robotics and he's upgrading all his units to mech infantry. That explains it. How many squares is 3%? Well, we can tell how many tiles is each 1%. That's usually pretty easy to check. Hold on. So let's see, land. So there's 829 tiles of land on this map. So divide, each tile is 1 out of 821. So each tile on the map is about 1/10 of, each tile on the map is about 1/8 of 1%, if you really want to do the math. So if you want 1%, you need about 8 tiles to get 1%. So with Caesar being 7% short, he needs about 50 to 60 tiles, just to give you an idea. So yeah, 50 to 60 tiles for domination. It seems to me like he does. Oh, wait, there's damage on that tank. It looks like they just went to war. Or no, that's not, that's just a shadow. Really looked like there was damage on that unit. Nope. Fooled me. Nope. Just a shadow effect. Caesar's still upgrading. I'm trying to get a sense for his research rate once he's done upgrading units. These guys keep fooling me here. I would enjoy seeing the final war. It's more interesting than just quietly researching until the tree's done. Yeah, Caesar is still upgrading units. Once he's done, he's probably going to have a pretty nice research rate. Yeah, I mean, he's still cranking out the units. Although he has swapped more cities over to research now. That and still building libraries in his captured territories. Trying to will the war into being. I swear I thought that there had been an attack in that one turn. It just looked like there was damage on the one unit. Well, the space elevator being finished by Caesar is pretty significant. That seems to help the AI a lot when it comes to getting the spaceship parts done. It doesn't help that the AI shuffles its units around so much every single turn. The way that they run their units around in circles is always pretty crazy. Alright, has Caesar finally finished upgrading his units? Nope, he's still running 40% gold. He doesn't need that much gold, so he's clearly doing unit upgrades. Nonetheless, he's still at 3,000 beakers. I feel like Caesar is closing the gap because he has so many more cities, but like he's still behind. So he's on fiber optics. Kublai's also on fiber optics, but Kublai has composites and mass media. Still, Caesar's down. I think he's closed it down to just a 2 tech gap now, whereas before it was a 3 tech gap. So yeah, and look how much faster the research is. Kublai 6 turns, 2 turns. Caesar 1 turn, 4 turns. So Caesar's greater size is starting to take effect. This could end up being kind of close as far as who gets what done first. Assuming, of course, that they don't go to war. Yeah, now he's up to 3,500 beakers against Kublai's 2,100. and he's still running 40% gold. I have no idea why he's running such a high gold percentage. I guess he's still upgrading units. Yeah, I still, like, do you see that? See how there's an infantry there? Caesar is still doing unit upgrades right now. His teching will be even stronger once he finishes that, whenever he finishes that. Also, he now has the ability to build modern armor, so he's probably going to start upgrading his tanks to modern armor too. Just because, or no, he still needs composites, never mind. He doesn't have the ability to upgrade to modern armor yet. Kublai does, but Caesar doesn't. As they both build their spaceship parts. Yeah, I mean, what would be ideal for me would be Caesar winning by spaceship, because I have spaceship as the victory condition, with us once again coming up just the tiniest bit short of a domination win. We've come so close to domination so many times without actually hitting it. Just keeps happening in these games. Someone gets to like 60% land area. Like this game, we're very close, but we're just short right now. Oh, and Kublai's on the dreaded stealth. We also had the Manhattan Project getting finished. Okay, so Caesar's down to just 30% gold. He's now pretty steadily at 3,000 beakers, and Kublai is not keeping up with that. I'm going to screenshot this for the report to do the comparison between the two of them. Yeah, so Caesar's just starting to tear through. Is Kublai plotting war? I don't think so. That would be insane, but maybe. Nah, it doesn't look like it. Couldn't betray our close friends. They're still pleased with each other, so no changes in their status. Kublai seems content to go to the space race. So far, Caesar is kind of in the same situation. Random gunship just wandering around in Mongolian territory. So, let's see. So Caesar's on composites now. He has finished fusion. Yeah, it's starting to look like Caesar is going to win the space race just because he's so much larger in terms of territory. He still needs to get composites. So Caesar needs composites, ecology, and then these two. But he already has fusion, which is the most expensive tech. And that will allow him to build the engines, which are the hardest parts to build. Whereas Kublai is wasting his time with stealth. Kublai needs ecology, fusion, superconductor, genetics, and he's researching stealth. Now Caesar will probably also go for stealth because he's an idiot. My face when I think I see damage on a mech infantry. So I think Caesar is going to win by the space race, I think. That is a very useless great prophet. Although at the same time, Caesar is stopping some of his teching to build nuclear weapons. Just in case. The Manhattan Project was built by Kublai a little while ago. I guess you can't have too many nukes on hand. Oh god, Caesar just triggered a golden age? That's very nice for him. What's his tech rate up to now? Still holding around 3,300. Kublai's down to 1,300. I don't know what Kublai's doing. Oh, Kublai stopped to build a gazillion nukes too. So like Kublai's only really been keeping up by build. Geez, that's a lot of nukes. Okay, if they actually fight, yeah, sure, we can have modern era music. If these two actually fight, we're gonna see nukes just everywhere. Okay, what do they both have? Rocketry. There we go. Yeah, that's true. I guess it's not so useless. He used it to trigger a golden age. Well-timed, great prophet. Coming in right just at the right moment. But yeah, with a golden age on top of everything else, I don't think Kublai can catch up to Caesar. I think Caesar's actually one-turning techs right now, which is why we're not even seeing them show up on the interface. Or something like that. Well, maybe not. He still has ecology, superconductor, and genetics to go. Just those three. What exactly was he researching the last couple turns? He's actually at 4,200 beakers right now. Kublay's at 1,500. He's at triple Kublay's research right now. Yeah, another war would get real ugly real fast, considering that both sides are building significant nuclear arsenals. Doesn't look like it, though. There's a Roman worker in Mongolian territory. Oh, Caesar just got mass media. Okay, that explains it. He just built all the casings immediately. And he's building recycling centers, so he must have picked up whatever tech gives you those. Ecology. Okay, he just one-turned ecology there. We didn't even see him researching it. He just one-turned it. So I think at this point, even if he goes for stealth, which he probably will, I don't think... Kublai still needs 4 more techs, and they're some of the most expensive techs in the game. I don't think Caesar can fail to win the game at this point via space, because he will grab those 2. And it's not like Kublai can beat him militarily. So I think Caesar has this. If you're curious how many units they have, Caesar has 848 units. Kublai has 439, so he's got about double the size of the military. Oh, we can see the text. We don't. This is not a great spy thing. We can't see what Caesar's researching because he one-turned attack. That's the reason why. It's not an issue of. It's not an espionage issue. The ability to see what they're researching actually doesn't come from the great spies. It actually comes from being in debug mode. The great spies let us see the bar graphs. So like right now I can't see the bar graphs because I don't have enough espionage, but I can just hop into Caesar's view of the bar graphs and get them anyway. Yeah. So more great spies wouldn't actually change anything. Good suggestion, though. Yeah, 655 units per quest. Did I mention that AI cheats a lot on deity? The AI gets a lot of cheats on deity difficulty. Just a few. Okay, so Caesar finished superconductor. Now he's on genetics, and that is the last spaceship tick. He actually did not waste time on stealth, amazingly. So he'll finish He'll finish that, build the stasis chamber, and blast off. And there's very little Kublai can do at this point to stop him. He didn't even have labs in a lot of these cities. The AI often does this. They take a dumb path through the tree. You really should go for labs like as soon as possible, because labs, plus 25% research, the bonus production on spaceship parts. Saving labs for like the last thing is not the way to go through the tech tree in the late era. Yeah, Caesar actually didn't. Now he will research it now because it's the only thing he's missing. But yeah, surprisingly competent, right? So he's got thrusters under production. Where's he building the last part? Hold on, let's zoom out. Oh, he's building it there? Why would you build the stasis chamber in that city? Okay, that's pretty dumb, but I don't think it's going to stop him from winning. Why would you build the stasis chamber in this city of all places? My God. Anyway. Well, that stupidity notwithstanding, Kublai doesn't even have fusion tech yet. He still needs to research genetics and fusion, so pretty sure Caesar still has this regardless. Whatever, man, whatever. If you wonder why the AI needs a lot of cheats on deity difficulty, this is why. So, finishing the spaceship thrusters. Finishing stealth, now it's on to future research. Assuming this ends the way we expect it to, this is going to be a pretty good scoring game for me, because I have Caesar first, Kublai second, spaceship win, and I had turned 340 for the victory date. Looks like we're going to be pretty close to that, because Caesar's looking at a launch date of 335, which would put the victory date at 345. So feeling pretty good about this game right now. Feeling pretty good. Caesar, you're so competent. Here, hold my beer. But there's still time for a war to break out. Sometimes we've seen this before, right? Sometimes when the AI launches the spaceship, they're just kind of like, well, I guess there's nothing else to do. Time to start fighting. So not completely over. Could still be a domination win. And you only need 6% to win by domination. Also just burned a turn in anarchy, so that delays the spaceship a little bit more. Way to go, AI. Looks like Kublai has Christo red enter, because Caesar lost a turn in anarchy. How was Julius Caesar's performance? Well, he got eliminated in the first round, opening round in Season 1. In Season 2, he won his opening round game and then lost in the playoffs. Okay, so Neapolis is no longer building the spaceship part, so I think he launched, or he swapped what city was building it, or something. Oh, he swapped the city that was built. He smartly swapped the city building the stasis chamber over to Arretium. Also, Caesar's now relentlessly cranking out modern armor again, so maybe he is plotting war. So all the old reports are on my website. I'm sure someone can link you to the main survivor page on my website. I can actually do that myself real quick, just while we're waiting here for the turn to roll. That's a really good question. Okay, here you go. That's the index for past survivor, for all the survivor years, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, Caesar's power is spiking pretty crazily right now, but he's going to launch on this turn. Caesar, don't win by domination before the spaceship arrives, please. I would like the 3 points for a spaceship win. Alright, so there goes the spaceship. 336, so it should be a 345 or 346 win. There goes the spaceship. Alright, what's the ETA on the victory? It'll tell us. Caesar. 1925. So that should be turn 345. 345. Now we wait to see if Caesar goes to war as he continues cranking out modern armor like mad. Let's see if he's plotting war. We have enough on our hands right now. Well, this could get interesting. We have enough on our hands right now. Let's find out. Of course, it depends on how long he takes to plot this war. I think typically they take between 5 and 10 turns to plot. Because he hasn't declared yet. So you're like, fly faster, spaceship. It really is incredible how many units he's building, though. Like, if you look at power for the last 100 turns, it really is crazy how many modern... Like, he's just building modern armor in every city. Or, no, never mind. He stopped and started building wealth. Maybe he changed his mind. But regardless, it seems like he's going to declare war at some point, I think. Yes? No? Not on this turn. Well, 7 turns to go. 345 will be the spaceship date, assuming that domination doesn't get triggered before that. Mongolian war planners must be sweating bullets. It's a strangely tense situation, considering that the space... Well, maybe he called it off. Maybe he stopped plotting war. There is wealth builds in every city now. Nope, still we have enough on our hands already. Again, I don't know how long that they typically plot. Maybe some of you have played more like high-level Civ4 single-player recently, are more familiar with this than me. Well, he's running out of time. We're down to the last 5 turns. Because it's 1925, that spaceship's going to get there. So if he plans on doing this, he better do it soon. Again, I will not be shedding tears if he does not launch the war at this point. I would be quite pleased to take my spaceship win. So note that Kublai has also finished the tech tree at this point. But Kublai is still building, he still has to build the engines. One of the reasons why it's usually not a good idea to leave fusion to the last spaceship tech research, because the engines are very expensive parts. Alright, well, still running out of time. Secretary General vote came up again. I don't know, this is not much of a war declaration, Caesar. He's still stuck at 58% of the land area. Only 3 more turns to go. I think that the time might just run out on this one for him. Well, so antisocial, the thing is we don't know when he started plotting war. Like, I checked, but just because I checked that turn, he could have started earlier. Look at all those modern armor down there. Kublai certainly has a lot of units, too. Units just randomly moving around every turn. Well, it looks like he never decided to declare war. Oh well. Could have won by domination, did not ultimately choose to do so. Went for the space race instead. I mean, it's not totally random, though, right? Because Caesar did have good relations with Kublai. The entire game, they were pretty good allies. So it's a logical result. That should be it, though. This is taking an awful long time on the inner turn. He may... Actually, I think Caesar just declared war right now, because I'm seeing a really long inner turn here. We'll have to do one more turn and check this out. But he's not going to get enough territory to win by domination on this turn. Yeah, oh my god. I see that, look at this, nukes are falling everywhere. And that's it, space race victory! We, don't worry, we'll do the one more turn and check it out. So that's a war declaration. We gotta mark that down. That did happen before the victory came in. So it's 12, not 11, for better or for worse. So 12, and Caesar wins a space race victory. Turn 345, Caesar first, Kublai second, both move on. All right, wow, okay.